it's 13. Sing 1, 2, 3, 4. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it.
As the calendar turns to October, the games get that much more important in the NYCHSFL. Stepinac looks to get off the schneid and pick up their first victory of the year. And Chaminade, the upstart Flyers, look to continue their successful opening season of the Tom Claro administration. On the Varsity Media Sports Network, Blaze Pizza presents the CHSFL Game of the Week featuring the Stepinac Crusaders and the Chaminade Flyers. And a pleasant good afternoon, everybody. He's Pat Godfrey. I'm John Perez. Welcome into the broadcast booth. And Pat, Stepinac comes in at 0-5, but it's no better time than now to erase that winless streak.
Yeah, we were just talking about it. The last time that Stepinac was able to win a state title back in 2018, they started off that season 1-4. So, hey, they might be last place in the current AAA seedings, but a lot can change between now and the playoffs.
Yeah, and as we take a look at the numbers for Stepinac and how it's gone this year so far, it's very easy to see 0-5. They've been outscored 206-33. But you mentioned that 2018 team, and that's something that Mike O'Donnell mentioned. He said, hey, we've been, as a program, off this rough start in the past. It led to a state title. Stepinac has some younger teams. They don't have the talent of that team, but anything is possible.
You know what? And it's been a real tough schedule early going for the Stepinac Crusaders team, coming off a couple tough losses against the likes of St. Anthony's and Iona Prep. But here's a rivalry in which they've dominated in recent years. 6 straight wins over Chaminade. Chaminade, a much different-looking program under Tom Claro, but still a lot of confidence that Stepinac's bringing down from White Plains.
Yeah, and they should bring a lot of confidence. They're also bringing some playmakers as well, and our two impact players here today is Zaire Spellman and Andrew Waters. A two-way player in Spellman and Waters, the cog on that defense.
Yeah, Spellman just an absolute playmaker. He's probably a Division I football player with Stony Brook and Cornell already interested in him. Had a couple huge catches against Iona Prep, and they're really going to need him to show out in order to come up with the upset bid here at Gold Star Stadium. On the flip side of the ball, Andrew Waters is all over everything from that linebacker spot for Stepinac. He has got a nose for the ball, and he's going to really need to eat things up to stop the likes of Peter Gerbasi and this Flyers attack.
Yeah, you mentioned Gerbasi. Chaminade has been a ground and pound team this year. They're 4-1 to start the season, and this has been their best start since 2013, and it all started with that week 0 victory over St. Anthony's. But look at the defense just standing up.
Yeah, I got the chance to see this defense a couple weeks ago against Seton Hall Prep, able to shut that offense down to only 10 points, and they're going to need a similar effort today against Stepinac if they hope to emerge victorious and protect that top spot in the AAA.
Offensively, Chaminade's been one of the best rushing teams, and that is thanks to Peter Gerbasi, and then their defense. You could pick a ton of guys to be their best defensive player, but Lou D'Agostino leads the team with 8 sacks.
Lou D'Agostino, 8 sacks, that's an incredible total. If you're talking about a 16-game season, 17 games in the NFL. We're only talking about 5 games into the year, and this Chaminade team already has 20 sacks in comparison to the rest of the Catholic League sitting at 12 sacks. So an incredible pass rusher, and they're going to need to get him going against Hoover and Stepinac.
Yeah, and you know what? If Stepinac's going to pick up their first victory of the year, what do they have to do here, Pat, as we take a look at our keys to the game?
For Stepinac, I think it's really important to pressure the QB all day long. Murphy is an experienced senior quarterback, and as he goes, so goes the Chaminade offense. So get in his face. Slow the game down. The more that you have time of possession, the more you can keep that Chaminade Flyers offense off the field, the better it's going to look out here at Gold Star Stadium, and then communicate on defense. Everything is going to go through Waters right there in the middle. On the flip side, for Chaminade, it's going to be really important for them to win the turnover battle. You are the better team coming in here today. You've got everything to win out here. Don't give up easy mistakes against a Stepinac team that's looking for life. keep chopping on defense and be strong up front. That offensive line behind Coach Claro, who's a former Stepinac offensive line coach, has been so strong thus far this year. They're going to look to keep that going.
Chaminade looks for their 5th win of the year. There's been a palpable buzz throughout Mineola, and even the young pups are getting into it as well. The Massapequa Mustangs in full attendance, cheering on their Chaminade Flyers. It's the Flyers, it's the Crusaders, and it's all coming up next on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
At St. Francis Heart Center, we're not just regional heart experts. We share our greater success with the world. We don't just pioneer technology. We do it more than anywhere on Greater Long Island. And we don't just win awards. We deliver greater outcomes for people like you. As New York's only specialty designated cardiac center, we're not satisfied with just being good. This is Long Island. This is St. Francis Heart Center. And greater lives here.
Hey parents, Varsity Media is now offering ISO video of just your athlete. Why settle for the wide angle that shows every player on the field? With our ISO video, your athlete is front and center the entire game. This footage will help in creating highlight videos for college coaches to better pinpoint your athlete's play on the field. Watching our video will help your athlete improve progressively throughout the season and may lead to a college scholarship. Varsity Media is now booking ISO videos for the fall, but spots are limited. Contact us today for football, soccer, field hockey, and volleyball by calling 516-403-2050 or emailing ben@varsitymedia.net.
High school sports fans, Varsity Media is the exclusive live stream partner of Nassau County Championships. To live stream fall, winter, and spring championship events, head to varsitymediapass.com to order. Now accessible on smart TVs. Varsity Media is your home for the Nassau County Championships.
At St. Francis Heart Center, we're not just regional heart experts. We share our greater success with the world. We don't just pioneer technology. We do it more than anywhere on Greater Long Island. And we don't just win awards. We deliver greater outcomes for people like you. As New York's only specialty designated cardiac center, we're not satisfied with just being good. This is Long Island. This is St. Francis Heart Center. And greater lives here.
Hey parents, Varsity Media is now offering ISO video of just your athlete. Why settle for the wide angle that shows every player on the field? With our ISO video, your athlete is front and center the entire game. This footage will help in creating highlight videos for college coaches to better pinpoint your athlete's play on the field. Watching our video will help your athlete improve progressively throughout the season and may lead to a college scholarship. Varsity Media is now booking ISO videos for the fall, but spots are limited. Contact us today for football, soccer, field hockey, and volleyball by calling 516-403-2050 or emailing ben@varsitymedia.net.
high school sports fans. Varsity Media is the exclusive live stream partner of Nassau County Championships. To live stream fall, winter, and spring championship events, head to varsitymediapass.com to order. Now accessible on smart TVs. Varsity Media is your home for the Nassau County Championships.
The Chaminade Glee Club with the rendition of the national anthem. He's Pat Godfrey. I'm John Perez. Stepinac Chaminade here in week number 6. And there's Mike O'Donnell, the longest tenured head coach in CHSFL history out of Blessed Sacrament in '78. And like we mentioned, he harped on in the past, we've, as a program, been in tough spots and been able to turn it around, and he's trying to keep the positive vibes for his young team.
Yeah, over his 37 years, Coach O'Donnell has seen absolutely everything. And, it's tough with this team coming out the gates a little bit slow. But as we mentioned, the structure of these Catholic high school playoffs is such that if you win a couple games late, you sneak into that tournament, anything can happen. They've got as much talent as any roster in this league, and they're going to look to start making some strides in the right direction right now.
One of his disciples on the other side of the field is Tom Claro, and for Claro, he still lives in Westchester, took a job in the city, and said that he always wanted to get back into coaching after being an assistant coach at Chaminade many years ago, O-line coach at Stepinac, and now up for Coach of the Year in the NYCHSFL.
Yeah, it's been an incredible start out the gate for Coach Claro. As you mentioned, he's a Chaminade alum. He formerly coached under Coach OD at Stepinac, and it's been really just a great start coming out the gate. His first game with a win over St. Anthony's, and just kept that momentum going here through the middle of October. So look to make another step in the right direction here at Gold Star Stadium.
So after the coin toss, Stepinac wins and defers, and Chaminade will start it off on offense. And this game means a lot for Chaminade standings-wise. After a 45-0 victory over Holy Trinity, this is the last game of the week. So Chaminade currently in first place at 4-1. A win today would make them 5-1. But you see Cardinal Hayes, who many picked to be one of the best teams, not just in the state, but obviously in the AAA. And then Iona Prep, good victory last night as well. And Chaminade playing with the big boys late in the season.
Yeah, this is kind of new territory for Chaminade. It's been over 10 years since they were really pushing for a AAA title, and they feel like they're in pole position going into the stretch of this regular season. But they have Cardinal Hayes, C.J. O'Neill, and Richie Beelan right on their heels. Don't forget about Spags and Iona Prep up in New Rochelle. So they're going to have to keep winning. Nothing's going to be easy down the stretch for this Flyers team.
No, they play Iona Prep on the road, you're right, on October 25th, and then finish out the regular season at Xavier. And when we spoke to Tom Claro in the beginning of the year, he said that he wanted to change the culture to playing varsity football. He said it's not just a sign-up sport and an extracurricular activity. I want you guys to put your blood, sweat, and tears into it, and his team was waiting for that, and they have accepted the challenge. He said he's gone through some of the cuts, obviously getting some of those players that didn't align with that, but overall, it's been a smashing success so far, and he said he knew that the talent was in the building. It was just a matter of molding them and putting in a position to win.
No doubt. In recent years, there's been a perception that Chaminade is a lacrosse school, and a lot of their top football players are guys who are just kind of biding their time, waiting for the spring. I think with the arrival of Coach Claro, there's just a new energy about this football team. A lot of guys who are bought in year-round into winning in the fall, and it's really paying dividends out here thus far.
Meanwhile, for Stepinac, coming off a 34-6 loss at St. Anthony's last Friday night. Always a tough place to play on a Friday night in Melville, especially if you're coming from Westchester. It doesn't get much easier for them after this one. Playing at home against Peters and Farrell, and then Cardinal Hayes in the Bronx, and then at Moore Catholic. Stepinac wearing the road whites, and Chaminade ready to go. Last game of week 6. Stepinac looking for their first win of the season, as Dimitri Sapasaris boots it away, and off the short hop, Chaminade on the return. Liam Traynor, the junior from Huntington, gets tagged down at the 41-yard line.
And that's big coming out the gate. Starting off on the 41 makes life real easy for Tim Murphy. and this entire attack for the Chaminade Flyers. You don't want to make life easy on them, and the Crusaders are already with their backs up against it.
Murphy, a senior from Plandome, New York, the #1 QB starter, and there you see the completion percentage, total yards, and he's just a typical high school quarterback that he can run when he has to, but he reads the game well and a great manager.
Yeah, more of a traditional pocket passer back there, but as you mentioned, can run the ball. Don't let that touchdown-interception ratio fool you. He's a very efficient, effective quarterback back there for the Flyers.
In the gun in the first play from scrimmage and a flag. And we get to introduce our head referee, Ron Winchester. I think a little bit too early in the game for either one of these coaches. And offside called against Stepinac. Paul Rupp's the umpire. Jamie Herbert is the line judge. Back judge is Charlie Fiorentino. And the timer is Pat Wren.
A little nervous energy from that Crusaders defense here early on, but they're going to have to settle in pretty quickly against this potent Chaminade offense.
Michael Dietrich and Brendan Park, bottom of the screen. Gerbasi in the backfield, and on 1st and 5, goes right into a tunnel, and Stepinac clogs it up.
A few guys in there. Anthony Torelli, one of them, the senior linebacker who's been a stud all year long for Stepinac, and they're going to need that great energy flying up to the ball against this offensive attack all day.
Yeah, and we know what we're going to get out of the skill position players, but Pat, a lot of beef on the offensive line.
Oh yeah, going through these guys, Katagio, Katrizakis, Knox, Miller, and Paulowski, all guys who have really been dictating the tone up front. We mentioned Coach Claro being a former offensive lineman at the highest level, and that's really translating down into the performances front 5.
No gain on 1st down, and 2nd and 5. Murphy with a hard count. Gerbasi back-to-back gives. Reverses course and piles forward just short of the 1st down marker. A pickup of 3. Stepinac defense giving up north of 40 points a game this season. 34 points last week. Ginyard Murray, Suckalak Ramos, Torelli Waters, Austin Garrison Heslop, of course we know his brother, Naeem Hardy, Ethan Morris, and Ethan Jean-Marie.
Yeah, it's a strong defense. You know, they've had some struggles here early on against some big boys outside the league and within it, but a new opportunity here today.
Yeah, non-conference games against McDonough, Severn, and St. Joe's Regional. And the carry on 3rd down's enough to push the pile. It's like a rugby match out there, Pat, as Murphy gets the 1st down and then some.
You gotta love this out of your senior quarterback saying, hey, 3rd and 2, let's keep things moving here early on. Just lowers his shoulder, and then you're gonna get the buy-in from the rest of this Flyers offense, pushing the pile and really dictating the tone here early on at Gold Star Stadium. A lot of guys in there. You see number 84, Brady Murray, the junior tight end, helping get that push. Really nice collective effort.
Tom Claro was especially complimentary of Murray so far this week, and says that he does a good job reading his assignments, but says it's just so strong and can really push 4 or 5 people at a time. And he showed it on full display there. And some substitutions for Chaminade as they get set offensively. Braz top of the screen. Murphy off the low snap, rolls out and slings it on the run. And Michael Dietrich hauls in his first catch of the afternoon and gets shoved out of bounds by Ethan Morris.
Good sign early on for the Chaminade offense to get Michael Dietrich involved. When he's humming, everything looks good on the offensive side of the ball. He's a great route runner, got several college offers and college looks already at this point in the process, and look to get him involved all day for Tim Murphy.
Yeah, that's his 10th catch of the year. He's averaging 11 yards per catch. One of the top returning receivers as well. And here you look at the video game-like numbers for Chaminade towards the top of the league, but a good balance of passing and rushing, and a really good job on the ground game.
Murphy's going to keep him honest. He can move, throw the ball, or he can do designed runs, as you see right here.
Yeah, takes it himself, and Murphy has another 1st down.
It's a nice job there, following some of his lead blockers. Katagio up front. And Tom Claro's got to be happy with the way that they're getting at the gates. It's a team that really prides itself on balance, hitting on the ground game and through the air. And look to the Crusaders for a response here as their backs are up against it.
One of the biggest differences in the quarterback position for Chaminade this year is that Murphy doesn't force a lot of throws. He's got 4 interceptions, but you get tip passes, a few bounces here, different reads. But someone who's not really going to force the agenda. On the run, Murphy keeps it himself, sees that nobody's available, and then draws the contact and piles forward a gain of 6.
Yeah, Julian Ramos and Naeem Hardy in on that big hit right there. But as you mentioned, just another smart play right there by Murphy up front. He's a quintessential senior quarterback, not going to force anything. And right here he says, hey, if you're giving me 4 or 5 yards, that keeps things moving for my offense, and I'll lower my shoulder and see if I can get an extra one.
Pat, as a coach, what do you think about a quarterback that draws the contact? Because he's not a typical mobile quarterback that we've seen in the past. He's more of a lumbering quarterback. Already had a pinky injury earlier this year, but someone that's not afraid for the contact. But at the same time, you need him for the duration of the year.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a little nerve-wracking when you see your quarterback lower his shoulder. But at the same time, number 19 is about 215 pounds out there. So by and large, when he's running the ball, he's the one delivering the blow versus receiving it.
Peter Gerbasi sends the Flyers into the red zone past the 20 as that moves the sticks again for Chaminade.
Gerbasi, a guy to watch here all day. In the Seton Hall prep game a couple weeks back, had a huge play on the opening drive that set them up for their lone score of the game. Got injured early in that one, and the Chaminade offense was not the same the rest of the way. So look for number 5 to stay healthy and stay involved in order for them to be successful.
Sets up 1st and 10 from the 17. Gerbasi in the backfield in that hard count again. Man in motion is Michael Dietrich. Fakes that way. Murphy, short dart. He's got a man to the end zone. Touchdown. Nice play by Tim Battaglia, the senior from Massapequa, and Chaminade's on the board.
I really love this play design. A lot of confusion up front, trying to draw the linebackers down with the play action. You'll see the man in motion right here. And then just spin around, thing of beauty by Murphy, drawing off all the defenders, and Battaglia, the recipient. Doesn't get any easier than that for number 28, right up the middle to set the tone here at Gold Star Stadium.
Justin Jones from Cold Spring Harbor on for the extra point. And drills it after the hold from Kyle Highland.
Tom Claro's got to be real happy with his offense coming off the field after just methodically working down the field. Got great field position off the opening kick, and they capitalize on it. 7-0 Flyers.
And that touchdown was a Blaze Pizza Fast Fire touchdown. Join Blaze Rewards to get access to exclusive rewards and earn flames for your free pizza, cheesy bread, and more. Join now at blazepizza.com or download the Blaze Pizza app in the App Store.
Blazing hot start for the Chaminade Flyers. Let's see if Stepinac can add some Cool Ranch, cool off the Chaminade team, and let's see if Hoover can get involved early on.
Are you a Cool Ranch guy? Is that what comes to mind?
I'm not. When it comes to pizza, I think you keep it simple. Parmesan cheese, some crushed red pepper. That's really all I've ever needed. And especially with a place like Blaze, their flavor that's baked in, that's taking you all the way.
Well, they've got 30 different toppings, decadent desserts, and the whole shebang. Locations in Hicksville, Bayshore, and if you're in Connecticut, in stores as well. And I know there's a few Queens people on the Chaminade enrollment and on the roster in Fresh Meadows as well. All right, so 7-0 lead for Chaminade. And now to boot it away against this Crusader offense. The ball will roll out of bounds in good field position for the Crusaders. That'll lead us over to Mason Hoover, QB1 for Stepinac. Coach O.D. says he's a great kid, 52 of 93 completions to attempts. He's known for over 560 yards and a good pocket passer for the Crusaders.
Yeah, the senior does a really good job taking care of the football, and really they're going to need him to have a great day out here today in order to be competitive. At about 6 foot tall, he's kind of a traditional pocket passer back there, but makes smart decisions, kind of shows off why he's an honor roll kid in the classroom at Archbishop Stepinac. And yeah, look for number 10 to get going all day long, especially across from a Flyers attack that came out the gates real fast.
And you know what, too? At 0-5 and all hands on deck, we'll see a few Wildcats as well, as Zaire Spellman will take the first play from scrimmage. And Spellman, straight keeper, chugging ahead. And, boy, he's so elusive as he picks up 7. Spellman, the marquee player to watch on offense today, and the rest of this Stepinac offense as well. We saw Hoover and Spellman. Jesse Osborne will get some carries as well. Eaton Oliveri, DeMarco Kempa Walker, Sacoliaro, as well as Whitehead and DJ Williams.
Yeah, Spellman is really the X factor if you're looking at this Crusaders attack. If Bill Belichick were coach over Chaminade, it would all be about number 1 today. And that's a great job wrapping up by Lou D'Agostino.
Yeah, Lou D'Agostino leading the team in sacks, has a tackle for a loss. This is a defense that is only giving up 10 points per game. They pitched a shutout last week. Smith, Viscardi, Jemison, Hanley, Schmidt, Trapani, D'Agostino, Landrum, Lombardo, Cuomo, and Braz.
Yeah, these guys have been playing their best football as of late. The last 4 games have allowed 0, 3, 12, and 0. So looking to pitch another shutout out here, and all starts up front with that big defensive line.
3rd down and 4 from the 41. Spellman again, this time to give. Ranging far side is John Smith, and Smith just hammered back.
No chance there with Will Hanley flying in. The 6'3" senior linebacker just gives him no room to breathe. He's a good athlete in open space. And tough right there if you're carrying the ball for Stepinac.
And you see averaging under 100 yards per game rushing, 20 sacks. Rest of the league has a dozen. And if they continue at this pace, you know what wins championships, Pat?
Exactly, causing chaos. 9 forced turnovers to start this season over their first 5 games. They're going to look to get that going all day long against Stepinac team that's at times had struggles to turn the ball over.
Kick up from Sapasaurus. Braz back to field it, but then defers. As Stepinac downs it, and racing over to the football is Troy Baker, the senior. We mentioned this vaunted defense. How about Lou D'Agostino in full effect?
Yeah, Lou D'Agostino already 8 sacks on this very early season, and just shows you what he can do in the open field against as talented a guy as there is out there in Zaire Spellman. Really nice open field tackle for number 11.
Well, one drive in, we see the ground, we see the pound, and for Stepinac, a good punt, pins him back to the 31-yard line, and some work to do now for the Chaminade defense, second series of the afternoon.
Yeah, it kind of feels like early on in this game, this could really be a make-or-break drive for Archbishop Stepinac. You want to get off the field here quick, give your offense a chance to get the ball back, get something going. The last thing you want to do is go down 2 scores in the early going here in Mineola.
Second drive for Tim Murphy and crew. Tries to elude a tackle and gets down in the backfield. Julian Ramos with the sack, his 30th tackle of the year. A better start defensively for Stepinac.
Yeah, Julian Ramos, a really dynamic guy, made the Super 11 for a reason. And even though he'll be playing lacrosse next year at Binghamton, he is a guy who can really make his impact felt on the defensive side of the ball for Stepinac. Really nice showing.
Yeah, and Stepinac better against the run than in the passing game, and for a Chaminade team that's going to give them plenty of opportunities to defend the run today, that might actually be an advantage for Stepinac. 2nd and 15. Murphy using his legs, pumps, and then just angles out of bounds. Pressure coming in from Edward Keeler, the junior.
Yeah, really nice job by Kuehler, as well as Sukalic, number 55 out there, just kind of stringing things along and not giving Murphy the opportunity to get his feet set within that kind of full zone to the outside. Smart move once again by the senior quarterback to just eat that one and live to see another down.
Sukalek, one of those starting defensive ends, second-year starter as well, a high honor academy kid, good size, 6'4", and someone who continues to get better and better every week, says his head coach Mike O'Donnell.
And they're going to need that pass rush to get going up front here. Looks like they're bringing 4, and 3rd and long. Chaminade.
Murphy sitting in the pocket, darts it across the middle, incomplete. In and out of the hands of Mike Genovese, the sophomore.
Yeah,
Stepinac rolls a 3 and out.
He was no match for Ethan Morris, the senior DB, flying in over the top. Morris plays a lot of strong safety. This is 4th pass defended of the year and just flies in there. Not fun if you're sitting over the middle trying to rein that one in. Looks like Jones out here to punt. He can be a weapon on special teams. We saw him make a PAT earlier, but a very good punter as well.
Richie DeMarco back to receive, as well as Ethan Morris, or check that, Max Oliveri, and takes a Chaminade roll just shy of the 35-yard line. After the 39-yard punt, Stepinac's offense takes over. All right, so 3 Wildcats off the jump, and Zaire Spellman. Your thought for Coach O.D. juggling it up a little bit?
Yeah, I think it just kind of comes down to, hey, you want to get the ball in your playmakers' hands as often as possible. The Wildcat makes life easy if you want to get the ball to number 1, and, it keeps everybody honest on the defensive side of the ball for Chaminade. I'd expect for Hoover, right here to get an opportunity sometime soon.
Yeah, that's Garrison Heslop now in the backfield to take the direct snap. Heslop fakes one way and then gives it wide over towards Troy Baker, the senior running back.
Yeah, Lucas Smith flew in there pretty quick, but that's one of the downsides right there of bringing in a bunch of different guys for that quarterback position, whether it be the wild card or in this scenario, bringing in Heslop to play QB. There's something sometimes lost in translation that right there, not a clean exchange, almost results in a fumble, and they got to get that cleaned up if they want to start gaining some positive momentum on offense.
Heslop offers from UConn, Stony Brook, and Rhode Island. Bad snap, and once again, Stepinac has to pounce on top of it. Troy Baker's there.
Yeah, as I mentioned, that's a tough one to rein in right there if you're Heslop playing quarterback. But, just some of that communication can be a little bit tricky when you got multiple signal callers rotating in on a series-by-series basis. And absolutely not what Stepinac was looking for right here as they look to kind of respond to some of this early momentum from Chaminade, setting yourself up in a 3rd and 26 scenario. Obviously suboptimal.
Yeah, Hoover looking on from the sideline. Heslop back to pass and then throws a short dart near side over to Jesse Osborne, the senior.
Really nice
a long way to go as Chaminade rallies over to bring him down.
Anthony Trapani, you're going to be hearing that name all day long, but he does a great job flying up here. He's only 5'7" and about 160 or so pounds, but he plays the linebacker position like Ray Lewis with force. And right there, really nice open field tackle on the 3rd and long scenario.
Back-to-back 3 and outs by this Chaminade defense. And Sapasaurus, who I don't think he was expecting to get this much playing time in the first quarter. And, of course, it's never good when your punter's out there multiple times in the opening quarter. Booted away from the 23. A lot of pressure coming in, just gets it off. Braz back and then backs off. And a flag is down and a push from the back as it gets down at the 36-yard line. And we'll see what the penalty is as well after the 41-yard punt.
Yeah, it looked like Nick Cuomo, the senior safety for Chaminade, might have been the offender here. And certainly not what you want. You're in an opportunity to start off at about the 37-yard line. Great field position for Tim Murphy and co. And this one's going to be moving back.
So block in the back, pushes him back, says Ron Winchester.
I think one thing that's going to be really important out here today for Chaminade is just kind of avoiding those self-inflicted mistakes. They feel going into this game that they are the better team, that if they execute properly, they can go and dominate out here today. But if they shoot themselves in the foot, could be a long afternoon.
Let's remember, Pat, that this is a team that graduated a lot from last year's 1-8 team. But, when you do have a 1-8 season, a lot of players are getting some run because you're trying to shuffle and trying to get out of that hole. With that said, Gerbasi takes it on first down, ranges wide, and then burrows forward past the 30-yard line. And a pickup of 7. My point being that Tom Claro says they now expect to win, but at the end of the day, there's still some rust from last year, and they're still high school kids, so you'll get those mental errors.
No doubt. This team is relatively inexperienced. A lot of guys kind of stepping up for the first time. And, you kind of hope that none of those thoughts, those images from prior seasons and lack of success creep in. And thus far, Coach Claro has been really, really effective in kind of changing the mentality and making sure these guys expect to win when they show up out here.
2nd down and 3 from the 32-yard line. Under 2 minutes to play opening quarter. Chaminade looks to capitalize, and they give to Gerbasi. Stretches the field, has a hole, gets a first down, still on his feet past midfield. Peter Gerbasi ahead of the pack, and he will run out of bounds at the 10-yard line. And what a run for Gerbasi as he struts all the way down the field for a 58-yard run.
And he's going to follow a cater of blockers right here. It's going to be Brady Murray and Christos Katrazakis. Look at big number 70. He's going to make a great pancake block out here in the open field. Boom! And Gerbasi, that's all he needs. You give him some daylight, he'll make it happen. And the big boy lumbers along, almost makes it, and runs out of gas at the 10.
Now check that. They'll say that he got pushed out earlier than that. So actually spotted at the 23-yard line. But, yeah, you mentioned Katrakis, too. Declan Miller, Pulowski. Big reason why the Chaminade offense continues to be one of the top running offenses in the league. And moving up front again, and this will be the 3rd penalty against the Crusaders.
Yeah, right there is Elias Murray, the junior defensive tackle. And these are just self-inflicted mistakes that you can't make as an 0-5 team. Archbishop Stepinac just making life a little bit easier, and 1st and 5 is music to the ears of anybody calling plays for Chaminade Flyers. Look for them to potentially mix in a pass here on early downs. They feel confident in their ability to pick up 5 yards over 2nd and 3rd down. I wouldn't be surprised to see a shot here.
Michael Dietrich in the slot. Schiano over the middle, but the pass goes to the tight end. Touchdown. Brady Murray right on cue from 18 yards out as Murray fires a strike.
Yeah, Brady Murray's an absolute stud. We saw what he can do in the blocking game earlier on in this drive, and here gets his hands involved. The junior from Rockville Center is going to go up for it, and a pretty perfect pass, only where his man could catch it if you're Tim Murphy, and that's beautiful execution for another 6 for Chaminade.
If Chaminade can continue to diversify their weapons, they're going to be a tough out this playoff season, and dare I say one of the favorites, or the favorite, in the CHSFL, as Chaminade goes 2 for 2 on PKs thanks to Justin Jones, and that last touchdown is a Blaze Fast Fire touchdown. Sip on fall savings at Blaze. Get any small fountain drink for $1 and any purchase of an 11-inch pizza at all 3 of our local Blaze locations. Bayshore, Hicksville, and Fresh Meadows offering high school student discounts with a valid student ID for all menu schools.
Fast-fired pizza. Chaminade has come out firing real fast here at Gold Star Stadium. Electric first quarter for the Flyers offense. And now an opportunity for Zaire Spellman and co to respond. We haven't seen Hoover yet in this game. I expect them to start throwing the ball a little bit more, because thus far it's just been anemic on offense for the Crusaders.
Yeah, and some self-inflicted wounds there as well when it came to Stepinac with the tough snaps, penalties in there, and at times, and this is just what happens over the course of a season, you could be your own worst enemy.
No doubt. The last thing you want to allow to happen is letting that slow start kind of bleed into what happens the rest of the way here. Still a lot of football to be played. It'll be important to see how Stepinac responds, not only for today, but for the rest of their season.
Short kick near side. Let's see if it stays in bounds. It does. Chaminade believes they have it. Tristan Lombardo is there with the rest of the Flyers. We'll wait for confirmation here. And the Flyers have it.
Looks like it's Danny Landrum, the senior, who's ultimately going to jump on this one, but just a little bit of confusion here from the receiving team for Stepinac. It appears that they're not aware that they're able to go and run underneath this one. This is an onside kick, effectively, and just really heads-up play by number 22, sprinting out there, the 5'9" senior, who's one of their best players in the secondary as well, making his impact felt on special teams.
Yeah, you could say he's being the best player today on special teams as well, Landrum, the senior from Franklin Square.
And wow, just when you thought Stepinac was going to get the chance to kind of recapture some momentum, see if they can get something going on offense, a special teams miscue opens the door for this Chaminade offense once again to further bury the Crusaders here early at Gold Star Stadium.
Murphy 3 for 4 today, 42 passing yards and a tutty. Rolling out. Murphy gets some blockers, lowers the shoulders, and then gets escorted out by Naeem Hardy. 22 tackles on the year. More of a strong safety, but can play multiple defensive positions, 18 in white.
Yeah, he's a guy with some legitimate speed out there, not afraid to hit, and he's not nearly as big as Murphy, but still brought the wood right there on first down.
Murphy did the carry. 2nd and 6.
Second and 6. Gerbasi in the backfield, and it goes his way. On the counter, Gerbasi. Flags are out. Gerbasi plowing forward, loses his helmet.
Yeah, kind of a similar play to the one in which Gerbasi had the 50-yard run on the previous drive. Unfortunately, it looks like they're going to get Chaminade for a block in the back. I think it might have been Declan Miller, who was one of his lead blockers, the pulling guard out front. And unfortunate, because it wasn't really necessary, too pertinent to the play, but this one's going back. See Gerbasi right there walking off the field. Really good sign for Chaminade when he's firing on all cylinders, as he is here early. This team can be so balanced when number 5's running well.
The other thing, too, about Chaminade is that they don't turn the ball over, which has been a point of emphasis this year. A team that did a good job taking care of the football last year. I think one of the biggest issues in a season for Chaminade last year that didn't go in their favor was they just didn't score enough. They would sustain long drives, and sometimes they would go for it on 4th down instead of using Taylor Tomlinson as the penalty against Stepinac. It'll be 2nd and 16. And so the difference is for Chaminade, they're actually just scoring this year and finding the end zone.
No doubt, hey, you got to punch it in once you get into the red zone. That's been something they've done really efficiently thus far in the season. And then as you mentioned it, they protected the ball. And Chaminade's the kind of program where if they're going to be successful, they're going to have to be the smarter, better executing team.
Final minutes of play, first quarter. Chaminade goes empty, fakes the sweep. And Dietrich, second catch, and sachets out of bounds to stop the clock.
One thing I love what they're doing right now within this Chaminade offense is they're giving a lot of similar looks but completely different plays built off it. So for instance, that offensive line right there, you had Declan Miller once again pulling the exact same way as he had in previous snaps where they gave the ball to Gerbasi. Instead, you have Murphy pull it and opens things up to Dietrich along the sideline. So tough to game plan against as a defensive front when they're showing you similar looks with completely different plays built off of it.
I was speaking to a few public school coaches, and they said that if Dietrich wanted, he could be an FCS or a AA wide receiver right now. He's got the talent and speed. In the slot, that's a catch for Gino Sciano, and Sciano across and into the red zone for a first down.
Yeah, it looks like there's a forced fumble here. Fortunate for Chaminade that they're able to jump on top of it pretty late. Let's see if this is a completed catch. Yup, absolutely, pops right out. And that's just going to be Andrew Waters, who's really that stud up the middle for the Crusaders defense, who pulls that one out. Fortunate for Chaminade that they're able to retain possession there.
Yeah, Waters dealing with a nagging shoulder injury. And that really hasn't affected him so far this year. A ball hawk gets on top of the action, and he's a gamer.
Yeah, he's kind of your quintessential middle linebacker. Everything runs through him on that defense, and just has a nose for the football. So they're really going to need him to continue to step up here down the stretch, hopefully shut down that Chaminade running game, and see what you can do on the back on the secondary.
And they'll look to do so in the second quarter as Chaminade has a 14-0 lead over the Archbishop Stepinac Crusaders. It's been ground, it's been pound, and Murphy over the middle, and a touchdown for Tim Battaglia. 14-0 Flyers on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Going, Israel Bonikunda, running back for the New York Jets, and you're watching Varsity Media.
Move with the rhythm. Shake it up, stop when the clock hits 13. Sing 1, 2, 3, 4. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it.
For all the latest Varsity Media updates, including our game schedules, be sure to follow us on social media at Varsity Media, the home for New York high school sports.
Welcome back to Gold Star Stadium. Start of the second quarter, 14-0 lead, and there's Tom Elder, the defensive coordinator for Chaminade, and what a difference this year has been. For Chaminade, we showed their defensive stats earlier, and now we're seeing offense as well, and just look at the difference in numbers. More than half the production in half the time of last year's squad. And a short dart. Dietrich's got his third catch of the day. Flag is out far side of the field. We'll see if this pushes back Chaminade.
Yeah, John, you kind of mentioned that year-over-year change. This team has gone from worst to first, you know, so obviously a lot of new things being thrown into the mix, but incredible balance on the offensive side of the ball, which is something that they certainly didn't have to the same extent last season as they went 1-8.
Legal motion called against Chaminade pushes them back, and Murphy in that first quarter, 5 of 6 for 59 yards. If we could take a look at those year-over-year graphics again, or the numbers at least, as this ball gets spotted. But yeah, so you've now seen Chaminade multiple games, 1 quarter into this. What do you think is the change here?
I mean, if you start off with the fact that, you know, we're only halfway through this season, but they already have almost as many rushing yards as they had all of last season. Everything kind of starts on the ground. That physicality that Chaminade's been lacking the last couple of years is certainly present when you watch this team play football.
Trips receivers top of the screen. Gerbasi in the backfield. In reverse again, Gerbasi. Stepinac rallies over after the pickup of 3 from Gerbasi.
Yeah, nice job by Edward Keeler here, kind of chasing this one down from behind, the junior defensive lineman for the Crusaders. And they're going to need more of that. You know, hey, you're not going to come back in one play here down 14-0, but what you can do is capitalize on some of these self-inflicted mistakes that Chaminade's made here on this drive, get a stop, and then, hey, the world's your oyster. See what can happen from there.
Gerbasi now 6 carries, 63 yards. Averaged 12 yards per carry in the first quarter. Peter Braz, the receiver, top of the screen. Michael Dietrich's in the slot. And Gino Sciano near side, but Murphy takes it himself. And a 5-yard pickup. Big Tim Murphy.
Yeah, just keeping things moving in the right direction, making this a little bit more of a 3rd and manageable, about 3rd and 10 here, which isn't what they're hoping for, but nonetheless, with number 19 as your signal caller, a very makeable 3rd down situation.
Chaminade 3 for 3 on 3rd down so far. Beautiful fall Sunday here in Mineola, but the wind blowing towards the near side. Murphy steps up. He's got Battaglia again, and Tim Battaglia shoving off a defender and then get on the train to the 5 and a 1st down for the Flyers.
What a play by number 28. Very similar here as what they ran earlier, a little bit of a misdirection. They have Murphy plant his foot in the ground and get back to big number 28, who's just going to sheerly want it more than the other side right here. Get off me right there. And number 28, Tim Battaglia, rumbles forward, part of a great Chaminade football family. His older brother Charlie, now playing Division I football for Stonehill.
I'd have to imagine that's what the driveway would look like sometimes,
Yeah.
right? Tim playing against Charlie's friends.
Hey, as a little bro with a big linebacker, older brother, I'm sure you learn physicality at a very young age, so putting it to use.
First and goal from the 6 for the Flyers, leading 14-0. Gerbasi, they call his number. C opens up, and Gerbasi is not denied. Touchdown Flyers. They're up 20-zip.
What an impressive drive once again from Chaminade. Great mix of ground and pound, and just the physicality that Gerbasi's able to bring forward. He gets hit at about the 3-yard line and just keeps his legs moving against Anthony Torelli. Will not be denied, and that makes it a 3-score lead here for the Chaminade Flyers. Uncharted territory here for Stepinac, especially against a Chaminade team they've beaten 6 straight times. And really a big moment for them to kind of decide what this team is made of. How are you going to respond? Down 21-0 early on the road. Really the test of a mettle of a team is kind of who you are in these situations when you're down at your worst.
Yeah, and Stepinac will have their work cut out for them. And while those two teams get ready, all the graphics that you've seen today have been courtesy of Gipper, the #1 social media automation platform. Good for athletic departments, school districts, and much more. Learn more today at gogipper.com.
Yeah, you probably heard win one for the Gipper. Gipper helps you win them all. So thank you to our sponsor, making life easy for us up in the booth.
Not just us up in the booth, but Chris Sweeney in his dark cave making all those graphics all week, and the rest of the graphics department.
A lot of work that goes on with our whole Varsity media team. Really appreciate our cameraman, Ron Pierre, Chris Sweeney, running all the production here.
Becca Kazaks.
Lot of work that goes into it, and we get to do the easy stuff, talk football, so I'm grateful for that.
All right, so 21-0 Chaminade, not the start that Stepinac wanted to get off to, as they see themselves in a big hole once again. And a short kick, batted down by Oliver Arias, and Arias the junior still ahead. Hole opens up and making something out of nothing. Good field position for Stepinac. They'll take over at their own 40.
Yeah, really nice return. Hopefully the spark of life that this Chaminade team was looking for. And coming out at the 40-yard line, you got a relatively short field to go march down and try and respond. You're down 3 scores. What can you do now? And look for Mason Hoover to get involved for the first time today.
Yeah, still haven't seen him, as he treads out to the field.
And, you know, I think they're hoping to establish the run game early on in this game, but now down 3 scores, nothing else to resort to but your senior quarterback, see if he can get something done through the air.
And a tough team to play catch-up against. Hoover taking his first snap of the game in the second quarter. Rolls out. Hoover sees nothing and then tries to get back to the line of scrimmage and can't get out of bounds and downed after the loss of 1.
Yeah, it's a really nice play by Will Hanley, kind of hanging back in coverage and basically making Hoover commit. Ultimately, it looked like Hoover wanted to let this one go. They give him no choice, and winds up being a loss of 1 on a play that could have gone differently.
Hoover with the carry. 2nd and 11.
It's a tough scenario to be in. Obvious passing against a really good defensive line with already 20 sacks on the year.
Hoover does have a good arm, and up the middle. And Stepinac sees his seam open up. John Smith, what an answer back to the house as he scores from 61 yards out.
What a play right here by the junior running back, and I don't think that Coach Mike O'Donnell could have asked for a better response from his team than this right here. That was a hole that you could have driven a Mack truck through, led by DJ Williams, a senior tackle who had a great pancake block to spring this one open. And the rest is history. And what a response for this Crusaders O.
Stepinac throwing a haymaker against a Chaminade defense that, quite frankly, doesn't give up those big runs.
Yeah, hey, that's the antithesis of what Chaminade's all about. They're going to make you work for every down. And right there, they gain a lot real quickly.
Extra point no good, so it's 21-6 with 8:08 to go in the second quarter, but some positivity for Stepinac as well. That is a Blaze Pizza Fast Fire touchdown. You can swing by your local Blaze Pizza by ordering online or over the phone, and they'll be ready to fire up your perfect pizza for delivery, or choose to pick up your order in store. Visit their website today, www.blazepizza.com. Locations in Fresh Meadows, Hicksville, and Bayshore.
So needed for Stepinac right there. First 2 drives of the day were really rough. Rough going, tackles for losses, self-inflicted mistakes. Hadn't even seen Hoover yet, and right there they get out in their traditional offense, led by number 10. And after a nice run by number 22 later, it's a 2-score game.
And so, in a season that just the breaks haven't gone their way for Stepinac, they'll still need a few more, still trailing by 15, but it's got to be a confidence boost to know that the front four for Chaminade's so hard to break through against. You were able to break off a big run, and if you could stop them defensively, you're back in this game.
Oh, yeah, and not to mention what that does for the pass rush of Chaminade. You know, they're going to have to be honest the rest of this game playing against the run and the pass. If they're able to pin their ears back and tee off on Hoover, that's going to be a long day. Here you make life a lot easier for that offensive line.
Zapasaurus high in the air, and Chaminade returns, and bouncing off a few tacklers was Peter Chenowitz, and the senior from Port Washington will set up the Chaminade offense at the 36-yard line.
Yeah, really nice play by Chenowitz there. Not a guy who's used to returning a ton of kicks, but gives you a little shimmy, a little circle button right there with the spin move, and more good field position for Chaminade out the gate.
I always think special teams are very interesting when it comes to the high school level because, you know, it's not like exactly Adam Vinatieri's on the other side kicking it away. So you don't have your traditional skill players playing back all the time, and it just seems like if you're on special teams, you got to be ready for the ball because, you know, kicks just don't go into the end zone.
Oh, yeah, you know, it's an opportunity to showcase or expose the top-to-bottom strength of a program, and that right there is a great sign when a guy who's a depth piece is able to step up when called upon.
Gerbasi, first play from scrimmage. And gets about halfway home. Past the 40-yard line to the 42, gain of 5.
And as a former offensive lineman, I know Coach Tom Claro's mentality here. If they're going to give him 5 up the middle with Gerbasi, he's going to take that all day long. Another great sign for this Chaminade offense.
8 carries, 74 yards, and a touchdown already for Peter Gerbasi. It's a fun matchup, bottom of the screen. Garrison Heslop against Michael Dietrich.
Couple of studs right there. Great family lineages for both guys.
But the give to Gerbasi, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Gerbasi a first down into Crusader territory.
It's a really nice play by Gerbasi, but one thing I want to call out here along the edge is, if you'll notice, number 13, Gino Sciano, the wide receiver, is going to do a real great job after he follows Murray, his lead blockers. You see that wide receiver blocking downfield, making life easier for him. And a lot of times people think receivers all about the flash, all about, hey, are you able to make a big play? But those downs that nobody's really paying attention to a lot of times are the difference between a great rushing attack and a decent one.
14-yard gain for Gerbasi, aided by the block. Handoff near side. As this is Chenowitz. And Chenowitz pick up a 3.
Chenoweth does a good job here, just kind of following his lead blockers, going behind Murray as well as number 58, Lucas Cottagio. And even though not a ton there, that patience just allows him to slip ahead, and 3 yards in a cloud of dust will keep things moving all day long.
The other thing that makes Chaminade so tough is that they just sustain these long drives as well. And so Murphy, 2nd and 8 from the 44. Throws it on the run and delivers a pass to Dietrich. He's got his 4th catch of the day. And so tough to bring down, gets pushed out of bounds after the pickup of 6.
Yeah, Dietrich's older brother Mason is an offensive lineman at RPI nowadays, and you'll see that family physicality right here. Even though he's a receiver, says get off me to about 3 Crusader defenders and steps out of bounds for a nice gain, set up 3rd and short.
3rd and 2.
Yeah, he and Anthony D'Agostino over at RPI now, and a season last year, of course, for RPI, and now Mason being a big part of that. 3rd down and 2. Dietrich goes in motion. Murphy calls his own number, and Stepinac gets the stop.
It's a really nice job by Anthony Torelli, filtering through and making the stop. Number 25 is going to fly up there and kind of brings up decision time for Coach Claro. As you'll see, Murphy gets stuffed by a host of defenders. 25, the first to get there. But I'd expect to see Chaminade go for this. 4th and short on the Stepinac 38. The way that your offensive line has been playing all day, I think this is a no-brainer if you're Tom Claro.
And they're going to go for it. 5 minutes left, opening half. Murphy, the hard count, looks to the sideline, and a timeout will be taken by Chaminade as they'll talk it over. So they tried the hard count to get the 1st down. Now decision time for Tom Claro, and we'll see if they punt.
Timeout, Chaminade.
But good discipline by Stepinac.
Yeah, really nice job by Stepinac, kind of hanging in there. You know, as a defensive lineman, you can get antsy and really want to jump, even though everybody in the world kind of knows that a hard count's coming. So good job sitting in there, and I'd expect Chaminade to send their offense back out, but looks like they might opt to punt here. And interesting, you know, it's a really conservative call from Coach Claro. You're on the Stepinac 37 right here. Your defense, aside from that one run the last drive, has been playing really well.
Yeah, and, you know, if and when we'll see this Chaminade defense again, how about this 3-headed monster, D'Agostino, Smith, and Schmidt?
Yeah, all 3 of these guys are just so dangerous, and we're only beginning to see their impact on this game. Just wait until Stepinac has to throw the ball consistently. It's going to be a long day with the likes of D'Agostino and Lucas Smith flying up into your face, but all 3 guys who really can bring the wood and have played their best when the lights are shining the brightest for Chaminade this year.
Chaminade to punt it. And Stepinac sent nobody back, and how about this? Good spot for the Flyers down at the 4-yard line. A 29-yard punt.
And hey, if you are going to punt it in that scenario, all you can hope for is that your punt team is going to execute to that extent. Can't ask for anything better, pinning them down on the 4-yard line and really making life difficult for Hoover and company needing to go 96 yards.
1st and 10.
Well, Stepinac finding the end zone their last drive. John Baker, a 61-yard touchdown run. Got all 3 of their timeouts. 4:34 to go in the first half.
And it would mean so much for Archbishop Stepinac to be able to march down and put together some points on this drive, be able to go into the locker room at halftime within a score. But a tall task starting with their feet in the end zone.
On 1st down, Troy Baker. And Baker giving that Stepinac offensive line a little breathing room.
Some real great blocking up front, too. I saw Jameer Bright, who's playing an H-back position with a great pancake off the edge. And don't look now, but seems like the physicality is starting to set in a little bit for Stepinac. They're kind of figuring it out here, gaining some confidence against a vaunted defense for Chaminade.
Yeah, gain of 8 for Baker, who has done a solid job out of the backfield for Stepinac. Normal running back Jesse Osborne. We have not seen him get a ton of carries, but here he is now, and he's got enough for the first down. So right on cue, Jesse Osborne shoots out of the gap, and will move the sticks for the Crusaders.
Yeah, 5'8" senior, just fast, tough, and strong with a really high ceiling. Surprised that he hasn't been more involved early on in this game, but nice sign for this Crusaders attack. Just follows his lead blockers and moves the chains there. That's really big, you know, that first down when you're starting off.
There's Baker.
Tough field position.
Driven back. Lou D'Agostino in there with a bevy of Chaminade defenders. Lucas Smith, the junior from Glenhead, had a touch in there as well.
Yeah, D'Agostino is going to fly in here, as well as looks like number 52 for Chaminade, Thomas Jemison out of Babylon. And they really need everybody flying to the ball in order to stop this run game that's been really effective over the last couple drives.
There you see Jemison, number 52, really showed out in camp. Hoover completes the pass. Max Oliveri hauls it in. And another first down for the Crusaders.
Yeah, captain and leader of this team, Max Oliveri, does a really nice job just sitting down at the sticks, knowing the line to gain that he had to get to, and bringing it in, even though this pass is thrown a little bit behind him. Really, really nice execution by number 5 to keep momentum going.
5th reception of the season for Oliveri. As maybe we'll start to see Hoover start to sling it. They go empty. Whips it near side. As Richie DeMarco powers forward and picks up 6. So Stepinac getting some momentum. Clock continuing to wind down as we approach the 2-minute mark.
Nice play by DeMarco. His father's John DeMarco, defensive coordinator for the Stepinac Crusaders. Contributing to the family business there, moving things forward on first down.
Yeah, brand new coaching staff for Stepinac, losing 3 coaches. One of them, Tom Claro, to Chaminade from a year ago. Jesse Osborne, pickup of 3.
And although Stepinac's doing a really great job moving the ball at will on this drive, they do have to keep an eye towards the clock. Only 1:38 left in this half. They do have all 3 timeouts, but they're going to have to work the no huddle and have some pep in their step. They're going to hope to march down and score a touchdown going into the half.
I don't think the chain gang was in the right position, so that's a first down. Hoover, play action. Throws a dart, intercepted. Picked off Nick Cuomo. Cuomo to the house, a pick 6 and a backbreaker. Chaminade's defense steps up once again.
What a play right here by Nick Cuomo, the senior from St. James, New York. He's a hard worker. He's always around the ball. He's a physical dude, but you're going to see him just use that athleticism to not only read the eyes of Hoover, but not step in front of this pass, secure the interception, and then use that athleticism to bring it all the way back for 6. He's got his sights set on that end zone early on, and boy, what a dagger right there to close out this first half against Stepinac.
We talk so much about the pressure that opposing quarterbacks have to face, but the secondary for Chaminade, I feel, has been undershadowed, and the extra point is good off the kick from Justin Jones.
Yeah, this is a really strong secondary. Obviously, everybody wants to give a lot of attention to the sack numbers, that defensive line that's so illustrious in their own right. But hey, a lot of those 20 sacks are caused by the strength on the back end. If you're a quarterback trying to set back and throw against a Chaminade defense, it's tough to find open windows. Here, there wasn't one. Hoover tries to force it, and number 31 makes him pay. Such a nice job tiptoeing down the sideline, and that's got to feel good for the senior, who makes a trip all the way out from St. James to Mineola every day.
Gets the hug from Elder and some kudos from the rest of his squad.
And you can feel the air come out of the proverbial balloon for this Stepinac team. You know, they got some really good things going on that drive, coming off the backs of a nice touchdown, but that right there feels like almost a reset for this offense.
Manuel Garcia and Ian Thomas back to receive. For Stepinac is Jones. Lines it, and then Stepinac on the return. Jameer Bright, the senior. And so the Crusaders start off at the 39-yard line. Busy couple of weeks as the calendar starts in October, and of course with the holiday weekend this weekend, we've got some Thursday afternoon football. Hills East taking on Northport. Hills East losing yesterday to the defending LI champions in East Islip. Then some soccer, and then next football broadcast, St. John the Baptist against St. Anthony's. That's going to be an interesting matchup. St. Anthony is a little down this year. St. John the Baptist has the weapons for an upset.
Always a gritty team coming out of Islip there at St. John the Baptist. St. Anthony's, as you mentioned, not as strong as they've been, but still marching into South Huntington on a Friday night. Never an easy task.
Hoover, lots of time, lobs it. Down the field, incomplete. Tried to connect with Jordan Eaton, and good coverage by Danny Landrum.
Danny Landrum's having himself a day in multiple phases of the game. We saw his impact on special teams earlier with the onside recovery, and here just a textbook pass breakup. Doesn't interfere, and that can be tough when you're in one-on-one coverage downfield, but really, really nice play by the senior defensive back.
So the Crusaders taking a shot on first down, and they'll do again on second down. Hoover over the middle to Spellman. He makes the diving catch at the 25-yard line. How about the athleticism for Zaire Spellman?
Yeah, what a play, just laying out for this one. Shows you why number one is so special for this Crusaders team. Zaire Spellman, but all the credit also to Mason Hoover for just dropping that one right in the breadbasket, putting it where only his receiver could catch it.
36-yard pickup for the Crusader wide receiver. Hoover loses his balance and then is brought down. A sack for D'Agostino, his 9th of the year.
Who else but Lou D'Agostino? Whenever there's chaos going on in the backfield, you can count on number 11 in red being involved. And just an opportune play, really setting Stepinac back behind the sticks for second down. Yeah, just comes through untouched. Hoover wants no piece of that, starts running backwards, but ain't no getting away from big number 11.
I asked Tom Claro this week, who was the one player that really stood out to you when you first met him? Because he watched a lot of tape when he first got the job before the summer, but never really got to meet the team until 7-on-7s and even in training camp. And he said that he went down the list. He named virtually every player on the secondary, and then I said, well, what about Lou D'Agostino? He said, how did I forget him? He's had the biggest impact, or one of the biggest impacts, on the Chaminade defense so far.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's an absolute stud. You know, the senior's typically a lacrosse guy. That's kind of his big focus, probably what he's going to be playing at the next level. But judging by the way that he's been able to rush a passer, I can't imagine that there's not Division I schools lining up at the FCS level to bring in a pass rusher like him.
Hoover back to pass, wobbly ball, changing the direction, and how about Max Oliveri on the fly to track it down? Like a center fielder, Oliveri hauls it in, and a race against the clock. And a timeout, Stepinac.
Such a nice job by number 5, Max Oliveri, right here. And kids at home, please take some notes. That ball's up there in the air for a while, and number 5, Max Oliveri, is going to work to get back to it. Always help your quarterback out, come back to that ball, and even though it's double coverage, number 5's able to emerge victorious. Really nice play for the senior.
Tackled by Nick Cuomo, his 35th of the season. And so Coach O.D. calling up the huddle, and take you inside the huddle there for Hoover starting to get into a rhythm here as Stepinac's in the red zone, but only 21 seconds to play with, Pat.
Hey, yeah, I mean, this is really a prime opportunity for this offense to emerge with something to hold their heads high about going into the locker room for halftime. Only got 21 seconds, so got to be really smart about your clock management here, but a couple of timeouts remaining, so look for Hoover to target that end zone.
Three receivers top of the screen. Jordan Eaton, Max Oliveri, and Zaire Spellman. Man in the backfield is Troy Baker. Hoover looks that way, leveled!
Oh my word!
And D'Agostino is going to get flagged for that as the helmet pops off of Hoover. Big time hit for Chaminade, and of course now the attention turns to Hoover to see if he's okay.
You really hope that Mason Hoover's all right in this scenario, but I got to say, from my perspective, I don't see anything dirty about that hit. Leads with the hands, not the head. And I know that this is a very violent play here, but that's the nature of the game sometime. It's a great hit by number 11, Lou D'Agostino. Should have been a forced fumble going the other way. And looks like, unfortunately, it's going to result in an injury and perhaps a targeting penalty.
Yeah, Elder is pleading with Ron Winchester, but Hoover is down on the other side of the field and in a seated position, and this is just what you worry about. And I have to imagine he'll go through concussion protocol or whatever the protocol is, try and get back into this game.
Yeah, you hope that he's all right. The health of these guys has to be the first priority when you're heading out here. But really just hate to see such a good physical play by number 11, Lou D'Agostino, get penalized. As in this scenario, you know, what's he supposed to do? A free shot at the quarterback, doesn't lower his head, but instead leads with the hands. And even though it's a violent hit, that's what football is all about, baby. A lot of fans here at Gold Star Stadium not too happy with this officiating crew for that one right there. But understand where they're coming from. Always got to look after player safety first and foremost.
Hoover back to the trainer's table as Ron Winchester talking it out with Paul Rupp and Jamie Herbert.
And a really consequential call right there as well. You know, that's going from a potential sack, potential forced fumble, and going the other way to all of a sudden Stepinac has a prime opportunity on the 7-yard line to try and punch something in right before the half.
First and goal from the 7-yard line. And back to pass is Garrison Heslop. Pocket collapses. Heslop still on his feet. Fires, touchdown. Just what the doctor ordered for Stepinac. Richie DeMarco scores the TD.
And what a play by Heslop right here. You know, he's not their starting quarterback. Gets called on, given the injury to Hoover. And on the first play, able to buy some time, roll out here to his right, keep his eyes downfield, and hit the open man in the end zone. Great play from number 9 to number 17.
Well, Stepinac, after missing the extra point last time, will go for 2 and try and make this a 14-point game at the half.
What a turn of events right here over the last couple plays at Gold Star Stadium. Looked like Chaminade was going to be walking in with a 3-score lead, and instead a lot of momentum recaptured by that Stepinac sideline.
So Stepinac calls a timeout. They're going to talk over the 2-point conversion. What can we expect here, Pat?
I think, you know, if you're Stepinac, probably want to give yourself a little run-pass option, do something with Heslop out in the open field where you give him the chance to pull it if he doesn't see anything, but get the ball into the end zone and throw to one of those targets. If there's such an opportunity, I'd expect a roll out right and see what happens from there.
Richie DeMarco today, 2 catches, 13 receiving yards, and a TD.
Really can't underscore enough the importance of that score going into the half for Stepinac to give them a puncher's chance out here.
The other thing, too, is they'll get the ball back to start the second.
Exactly. They come out fast, start the third quarter. All of a sudden, we're looking at a 1-score game in Mineola.
Heslop Out of the gun on the slant, Spellman barrels into the end zone, touchdown. Or check that, the 2-point conversion's good. Either way, just what Stepinac needed. The waning seconds of the half.
I love this call too. Dial up the number of your best player on offense. Number 1, Zaire Spellman. Does a great job, even though the ball is slightly behind him, of adjusting midair and bringing it in for the 2-point conversion. All of a sudden, we got a 14-point game out here and a lot of nervous energy on this Chaminade sideline.
Meanwhile, Chaminade on the near side calling out the hands team. And I think it's pretty simple. Just catch the ball.
Catch the ball, that's simple. Probably take a knee and go into the half, but got to play it smart. It really is amazing how in high school football things can change on a dime. That whole first half is really dominated by Chaminade, but given kind of the burst of life from this Stepinac offense in the second quarter, really feels like it's anybody's game going into halftime.
6 seconds left, first half. Sapatsaurus. Probably a short kick or a squib here. And the wind once again knocking down the football, and still ideal conditions for early October afternoon game.
Yeah, you gotta love it. I was here a few weeks ago. It was about 95 degrees up in the booth, and hey, no complaints from me. I love football under any circumstances, but it doesn't get much better than 70 with a nice breeze.
Although Sapatsaurus might prefer that 95-degree weather now, or at least get rid of the wind. And the squib kick over towards the near side, and Michael Genovese pounces on top of it with 3 seconds left. One more kneel down. Should take us to the second half.
First and 10.
And if you're Tom Clower, while you're not thrilled about the way that those last couple defensive drives went for you, really got to feel good going into halftime about the way that your offense has been able to execute throughout the course of this game. Up 2 touchdowns on a formidable AAA foe, and just hope to carry that momentum into the second half behind your senior leadership.
Chaminade at 4-1 percentage points in first place in the AAA and playing like the top team in the CHSFL. And they'll go into the half up 14 against Stepinac. It has been the ground and pound show, but Stepinac coming back and getting it into the hands of their playmakers, Garrison Heslop to Zaire Spellman, as the Crusaders look to come back on the road. Halftime here at Gold Star Stadium on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Move with the rhythm. Shake it up, stop when the clock hits 13. Sing 1, 2, 3, 4. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it.
Varsity Media is now opening up our schedule to any teams looking to be on a sportscast. Watching yourself on camera is okay, but hearing your name on a Varsity Media sportscast is like you're a pro.
And look at this opportunity. Feldman behind. Jersey pulled. Feldman! Feldman!
Here comes the 1-0. Hit on the ground at first. Quinn's up with it. Feeds to Varela. It's a no-hitter. And Division's moving on. Nassau County AA champions.
As West barks out the signal. West He's going to keep it himself inside the 5 to the goal line. Touchdown! Touchdown, Southside.
Varsity Media offers sportscast coverage for any sport, and our coverage airs live and on demand so everyone can watch the game. Now is the time to be a star on Varsity Media. Contact us to book a sportscast today at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net. Are you a local business looking for new and creative ways to promote your company? Varsity Media offers affordable rates that can get your message across to a demographic of 18 to 54 years of age. Our follower base across social media is over 50,000 strong, and our viewership numbers per game are in the thousands. Don't blow your advertising budget on old staples like TV and radio media. Reach out to Varsity Media to get the best bang for your buck. For the latest news in high school sports, be sure to check out varsitymedia.net or follow us on social media at Varsity Media.
Hey parents, Varsity Media is now offering ISO video of just your athlete. Why settle for the wide angle that shows every player on the field? With our ISO video, your athlete is front and center the entire game. This footage will help in creating highlight videos for college coaches to better pinpoint your athlete's play on the field. Watching our video will help your athlete improve progressively throughout the season and may lead to a college scholarship. Varsity Media is now booking ISO videos for the fall, but spots are limited. Contact us today for football, soccer, field hockey, and volleyball by calling 516-403-2050 or emailing ben@varsitymedia.net. When it comes to live streaming, Varsity Media does it all. Athletic events, concerts, musicals, graduations, even weddings. Trust Varsity Media when it comes to your live stream event. Contact us today to learn more about Varsity Media's live streaming services at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
High school sports fans, Varsity Media is the exclusive live stream partner of Nassau County Championships. To live stream fall, winter, and spring championship events, head to varsitymediapass.com to order. Now accessible on smart TVs. Varsity Media is your home for the Nassau County Championships.
For all the latest Varsity Media updates, including our game schedules, be sure to follow us on social media at Varsity Media, the home for New York high school sports. Hey parents, how about a bobblehead for your athlete? Bobbleheads are one of the most preferred personalized gift items today, and it's so easy to order. All you need is a photo of your athlete, a model number from our extensive collection of bobbleheads, and the sculpting process begins. 2 proofs are sent for your approval, and once it's approved, in a few weeks, your bobblehead is on the way. It's that simple. Order your bobblehead today by logging into varsitymediapass.com and click catalogs or call 516-403-2050.
Did you know Varsity Media now offers action photography for all sporting events? Available for individuals or teams, we'll send dedicated photographers down to field level to capture your best moments. Our rates are affordable and our photos will leave you with lasting memories for a lifetime. Contact us today, mention this ad, and get $25 off your first order. Email ben@varsitymedia.net or call 516-403-2050. You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Move with the rhythm. Shake it up, stop when the clock hits 13. Sing 1, 2, 3, 4. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it.
Varsity Media is now opening up our schedule to any teams looking to be on a sportscast. Watching yourself on camera is okay, but hearing your name on a Varsity Media sportscast is like you're a pro.
And look at this opportunity. Feldman behind. Jersey pulled. Feldman! Feldman!
Here comes the 1-0. Hit on the ground at first. Quinn's up with it. Feeds to Varela. It's a no-hitter. And Division's moving on. Nassau County AA champions.
As West barks out the signal. West is going to keep it himself inside the 5 to the goal line. Touchdown! Touchdown, Southside.
Varsity Media offers sportscast coverage for any sport, and our coverage airs live and on demand so everyone can watch the game. Now is the time to be a star on Varsity Media. Contact us to book a sportscast today at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net. Are you a local business looking for new and creative ways to promote your company? Varsity Media offers affordable rates that can get your message across to a demographic of 18 to 54 years of age. Our follower base across social media is over 50,000 strong, and our viewership numbers per game are in the thousands. Don't blow your advertising budget on old staples like TV and radio media. Reach out to Varsity Media to get the best bang for your buck. For the latest news in high school sports, be sure to check out varsitymedia.net or follow us on social media at Varsity Media.
Hey parents, Varsity Media is now offering ISO video of just your athlete. Why settle for the wide angle that shows every player on the field? With our ISO video, your athlete is front and center the entire game. This footage will help in creating highlight videos for college coaches to better pinpoint your athlete's play on the field. Watching our video will help your athlete improve progressively throughout the season and may lead to a college scholarship. Varsity Media is now booking ISO videos for the fall, but spots are limited. Contact us today for football, soccer, field hockey, and volleyball by calling 516-403-2050 or emailing ben@varsitymedia.net. When it comes to live streaming, Varsity Media does it all. Athletic events, concerts, musicals, graduations, even weddings. Trust Varsity Media when it comes to your live stream event. Contact us today to learn more about Varsity Media's live streaming services at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
High school sports fans, Varsity Media is the exclusive live stream partner of Nassau County Championships. To live stream fall, winter, and spring championship events, head to varsitymediapass.com to order. Now accessible on smart TVs. Varsity Media is your home for the Nassau County Championships.
For all the latest Varsity Media updates, including our game schedules, be sure to follow us on social media at Varsity Media, the home for New York high school sports. Hey parents, how about a bobblehead for your athlete? Bobbleheads are one of the most preferred personalized gift items today, and it's so easy to order. All you need is a photo of your athlete, a model number from our extensive collection of bobbleheads, and the sculpting process begins. 2 proofs are sent for your approval, and once it's approved, in a few weeks, your bobblehead is on the way. It's that simple. Order your bobblehead today by logging into varsitymediapass.com and click catalogs or call 516-403-2050.
Did you know Varsity Media now offers action photography for all sporting events? Available for individuals or teams, we'll send dedicated photographers down to field level to capture your best moments. Our rates are affordable and our photos will leave you with lasting memories for a lifetime. Contact us today, mention this ad, and get $25 off your first order. Email ben@varsitymedia.net or call 516-403-2050.
Back here at Gold Star Stadium, it's a 28-14 lead for Chaminade. Stepinac, though, knocking on the door. Back-to-back scores to end the first half. He's Pat Godfrey. I'm John Perez. Pat, I feel like we haven't seen each other since, like, last summer. How was your summer, man?
It was amazing. Went to Italy.
I got to stop you there. We got to get back to the action here. It was a pretty positive end to the first half for Stepinac as we take a look at the numbers as well. And for these Crusaders, I know it's down to 28-14 disadvantage, but you take a look, pretty balanced offense, and they're keeping the penalties to a low.
Yeah, the first quarter was all Chaminade, but as we got into that second quarter, Stepinac really started to find themselves offensively. If they can carry some of that momentum that they captured on those last couple drives into this third quarter and fourth quarter, it's going to be a long way to close things out at Gold Star Stadium for Chaminade.
Meanwhile, on the other way for Chaminade, 187 total yards, and they were led by Peter Gerbasi, 9 carries, 86 yards, and a touchdown, as this offense was spreading it out for Chaminade. As we take a look at some of the first half highlights, and it all got started on the pump fake as Tim Murphy found Tim Battaglia to the end zone for the 17-yard score. And then, once again, Chaminade just continues to open up as it's been a positive season for the Flyers, in first place right now, and if the score holds, it'll stay that way. Here's TD number 2. Murphy, good ball up ahead, and it's to the tight end in Brady Murray. So Chaminade goes up 14-0. They would then go up 20-0, but then Stepinac starts to come back. As they start to trail, Mason Hoover starts to get into the action, and we start to see some of their playmakers as well, as we see here. How about Hoover in the second half, but how about the running back in John Smith doing a good job all the way to the house for 59 yards.
Yeah, that play was so needed when it came. It seemed like the Stepinac offense was kind of asleep at the wheel. All of a sudden, a huge burst of life from number 22, and since then, it's kind of been off to the races.
All right, so Stepinac is down 3 scores. They've got the ball back, minute left, second quarter, and now it's time for the playmakers to step up. And after Mason Hoover got leveled, got pushed off the field after the high hit, gets seen by the trainer, they bring in Zaire Spellman and Garrison Heslop in the Wildcat offense, and those two hook up together for the 2-point conversion after the touchdown. And I believe there's the 2-point conversion, as that makes it 28-14, and some creativity from Stepinac.
Yeah, can't give enough credit to Garrison Heslop for stepping in a tough situation in relief of Hoover and instantly stepping up and making some big plays. He was able to use his speed, keep his eyes downfield, and reach DeMarco for the touchdown to finish off the half. And then on top of it, a nice 2-point conversion to Spellman. And don't look now, but really, the Crusaders have the Flyers right where they want them, receiving this opening kick with an opportunity to bring it into a 1-score game.
Yeah, it should be a fantastic finish. Third quarter coming up next on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports. Hey parents, Varsity Media is now offering ISO video of just your athlete. Why settle for the wide angle that shows every player on the field? With our ISO video, your athlete is front and center the entire game. This footage will help in creating highlight videos for college coaches to better pinpoint your athlete's play on the field. Watching our video will help your athlete improve progressively throughout the season and may lead to a college scholarship. Varsity Media is now booking ISO videos for the fall, but spots are limited. Contact us today for football, soccer, field hockey, and volleyball by calling 516-403-2050 or emailing ben@varsitymedia.net.
Back here at Gold Star Stadium, it's a 28-14 lead for Chaminade. 4-1 on the year. Stepinac, tough start to the season. They're 0-5, and we spoke to Coach O.D. last week. He said that he always harps on his team, trying to remind them of that 2018 season where they started 1-4 but then won the state championship. And for Stepinac, you see that the pieces are there. It's just a matter of them trying to put it together and perhaps this is the game where that starts to happen, Pat.
No doubt. On paper, it's a very talented team with a lot of upside there. They haven't been able to tap into it early on in the season, but as any Mets fan would know, what happens early in the season isn't necessarily indicative of what's going to happen down the stretch. If they catch fire at the right time, get into these AAA playoffs, they could be a very dangerous team for any opponent, and they're looking to kickstart that run right here, right now in this second half.
And a positive sign, too, in the huddle on the far side is Mason Hoover, who got his bell rung, went off for the remainder of the second quarter, but at least walking under his own power and seems good to go.
Yeah, good to see number 10, the senior QB, persevere right there. It was a tough hit, but looks like he's cleared concussion protocol, should be good to go for this second half. And what a lift for that Stepinac offense that loves to spread the ball around to their numerous weapons.
What did you see out of that Stepinac offense in the later stages of the second quarter? Because they were humming.
What I saw is they did a really good job of kind of spreading things out. They started throwing in a lot of trips formations, kind of keeping that defense honest, and they also started having some success on the ground. So you know what? If they're able to keep the Chaminade defense honest, not pinning their ears back on the pass rush, and having to play the run honestly, all of a sudden a lot of things can open up for them in that secondary.
Meanwhile, for Chaminade, any adjustments you want to see out of them in the second half?
I think if you're Chaminade, you just got to keep doing what you do best. Your offense has looked great, so make sure that they continue to kind of march the ball methodically, take care of the ball, eliminate any penalties, and you should be walking out of here successful. I guess also I'd tell Lou D'Agostino to hit not quite as hard on some of those sacks. Make sure that they all stand.
Ian Thomas picks it up around the 15-yard line, has a burst of speed, and gets past the 30-yard line. As a flyer lost his cap, and Stepinac's offense back out on the field, and momentum and the wind underneath their wings.
1st and 10.
John, are you the wind beneath my wings?
I'll be whatever you need me to be.
Hey, thank you. That's what a great broadcasting partner is all about.
Every night before I go to bed, I say my prayers. I think, how can I help Pat Godfrey?
It shows. It shows.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Although I'm not doing your laundry again.
Hey, that's Mrs. Godfrey's job.
Okay.
I'm going to get in hot water by the time I get home. I probably shouldn't have said that.
I'm going to have to take the scenic route home. 1st and 10 from the 33. Garrison Heslop in the Wildcat. Straight handoff on the first play from scrimmage in the second half. Stepinac. We saw the Wildcat in the first quarter, and I'd have to imagine that we'll see different looks as well. But that was John Smith up the middle.
Yeah, it looks like Hoover's right next to Coach O'Donnell, ready to jump in at a moment's notice. But if you got a guy like Heslop who's able to run the ball and deliver passes accurately, that's a nice wrinkle to your offense.
Back-to-back carries for Smith, denied. Dean Schmidt devours them.
Yeah, Dean Schmidt, the senior captain, middle linebacker, just flies off the edge. Does a really, really good job of timing up this snap count. And by the time 22's got a hold of the ball, it's too late. Big number 7 in red all over it.
4 carries, 63 yards, and a TD for John Schmidt. Or John Smith. That is Dean Schmidt. Made the tackle. Third and 9. Heslop into the flat. Jordan Eaton meets the ball and then gets forward and will be well short. 4th down upcoming.
I like the thought there for the Stepinac Crusaders offense, trying to create a little window of space and get upfield, but that only works until you run into Tom Jemison, the big senior linebacker out of Babylon, who makes a great open field tackle to get his D off the field.
4th and 4.
Punting unit out for Stepinac.
Got to play it safe here. If you're the return unit for Chaminade, a fake is definitely in play at this junction in the game.
Sapasaurus, low snap, but steps into it. And Chaminade gets away from the football. And it is down to at the 21-yard line. And so That Chaminade defense rolls out the 3 and out first time through, and then after the 38-yard punt, the offense back out on the field.
Yeah, John, pretty interesting that we didn't get the chance to see Mason Hoover on that opening drive of the first half for Stepinac. They haven't had much success all day with their Wildcat formations, and when number 10's been in there, they've been humming. So I'd wonder if we get to see him on that next drive for Stepinac.
A few cracks in the armor. Stepinac has already inflated those season numbers against the Chaminade defense. But here's Peter Gerbasi on his 10th carry of the day, and gets shoved out of bounds after the 5-yard run. Now 10 carries, 91 yards, and a touchdown for Gerbasi.
Gerbasi just does a really, really good job of consistently gaining positive yardage. It's not only the upside that he gives you when he breaks one, but it's kind of that every down back. You can count on him getting you 3 or 4 in a cloud of dust, worst case scenario, and that does so much to make life easy on Tim Murphy and company.
Second and 5. Brad Murray in motion. Gerbasi, second straight give, and nowhere to go. Anthony Turilli made first contact, and then Stepinac rallies over. Some chippiness at the end of the play as well.
Yeah, nice job by a host of Crusaders. You also had Adrian Sukalic in there, the 2-year starter at defensive end. And they're really going to need this defensive line to step up, start making some big plays. Haven't got the chance to call much of Elias Murray's name, number 58, big defensive tackle, but they're going to need him to really anchor down there on the middle of this defense in order to get off the field here.
Yeah, Murray's still trying to get to 100%. Didn't play against St. Joe's Regional, played limited minutes against Iona Prep and St. Anthony's, but he's gotten a lion's share of the defensive snaps today. 3rd and 4. Gerbasi goes in motion. Murphy over the middle. He's got a man. It's Tim Battaglia again for a first down as he gets to the 40-yard line, a 12-yard pickup.
Tim Battaglia has this uncanny ability to just kind of find the soft spot in a defense. It's reminiscent of like a Jason Witten type guy, where he's not the fastest in the world, but it seems every time number 19 dials his number, he's in open space. And boy, not a fun guy to bring down in the open field, rumbling forward to move the sticks.
Murphy 8 for 9, 94 yards passing today. 4 men in motion. Thrown into the flat, Gerbasi. Makes the catch, but is stood up and driven back. Inspired effort defensively by Stepinac in the second half.
Yeah, really, really nice job by a whole host of Crusaders flying over here. Looked like it might have been Ethan Morris, the first guy to get his hands on him, and then just gang tackling to the ball. Really nice job to defeat that screen concept from Chaminade.
Yeah, Julian Ramos in there as well, the Binghamton Lax commit. Wearing number 15 in white, a big part of that Stepinac defense.
And I know Coach John DeMarco, their defense coordinator at Stepinac, preaches gang tackling all day long. That's really what it's going to take down the stretch here to bring down some of these big threats for Chaminade.
Straight run up the middle.
Nothing too fancy there, but do want to give a quick shout out to Lucas Cottagio with a great kick out block. Able to pop out that defensive end, create a nice lane for Gerbasi to run behind. And even though that's only 5 or 6 right there, the difference between a 3rd and 7 and a 3rd and 12 is astronomical from a play calling perspective in terms of the amount of plays at your disposal you have to call.
Well, how about the whole offensive line for Chaminade? I know that you're zoning in on Cottagio, but not just the size, they've got the skill as well, and a big reason why Chaminade's in first place.
Across the board, number 64, Christopher Knox, doing a great job. Snaps on target, making sure everybody's communicating together.
Murphy rifles the pass, picked off. Andrew Waters. Big stop for the Crusaders as as Murphy uncorks the INT.
We said going into the second half, that Chaminade was going to have to protect the football if they wanted to walk away victorious. This is a mistake that you typically wouldn't see out of your senior quarterback. Just doesn't see big number 51 in the lane as he's dialing up Dietrich, and that one's going the other way. Really, really nice job by Andrew Waters. He's a guy who's been through a lot. He's dealing with a shoulder injury right now, and we call his name out pretty often because he's typically got his nose around the football, bringing the wood, but right there showing some finesse in the passing game and creating a huge opportunity for his offense right here.
Yeah, nobody's 100% at this time of the year but Waters, and that shoulder good enough to make the INT. Spellman receives a direct snap, chugs ahead. Zaire Spellman has a first down inside the red zone and down at the 18-yard line, the 7-yard pickup.
I love this call right here to open up this drive behind your best athlete on offense, Zaire Spellman. It's a great turnout block right there by DJ Williams at tackle to open up the lane, and Spellman does the rest. Moving the sticks, you can feel a palpable change in momentum here at Gold Star Stadium towards the Stepinac sideline.
Check that, a 12-yard gain. Mason Hoover, the handoff. There's Osborne. Juggles forward and spotted at the 10.
Bit of a tough spot right here for Chaminade. Got your back up against the wall. And from a Stepinac perspective, you punch this one in right here, all of a sudden, wide open for you going into the stretch of this game.
Bunch formation, second straight carry for Osborne. Picks up 3. Stepinac has the safety net. Just have to get across the 2-yard line to get a new set of downs.
And you got to imagine at this point in the game, probably looking at 4-down territory. Third, about 4.5 to go. And if I'm calling plays for this Crusader offense, I'm sticking to what's been working. 3 yards in a cloud of dust. Get the ball to your best athlete, number 1 Zaire Spellman, and see what he can do.
Yeah, well, he's going to take the snap. Calls a man in motion. And then Spellman devoured. Lucas Smith with the takedown as a slew of Chaminade defenders were in the backfield instantly.
Yeah, it's a junior Lucas Smith as well as Will Handley flying in here from kind of both directions. You'll see Handley number 8 off the edge and Smith right in front of him. And you just can't ask for anything better in a big 3rd down scenario to force the hand of this Crusader attack on 4th and 5.
Yeah, and it looks like they're going to go for it. Mason Hoover's out on the field. Backfield is Jesse Osborne. Stepinac needs a first down.
So tough defending that trips right.
He looks that way. Hoover. Pocket opens up. Hoover darting towards the first down. Leaps forward. And should have it. Let's see where he's spotted.
Big call. Right at the chain, too. Looks like he didn't get there.
No, Chaminade gets the stop. Just 1 yard short. And this defense steps up once again.
Wow, you know, everyone's heard the tired cliche, football is a game of inches, but nothing exemplifies that better than this play right here. Number 10, Hoover, giving it all he's got, stretching out to get there, but just stopped probably about 6 inches short. Great job by that flyer D, getting a stop and bailing their quarterback out of what could have been a costly interception.
There has to be a mood shift or a mentality switch when, as an offensive player, if you don't execute, your defense can bail you out.
It's great having that safety blanket, knowing, hey, even worst case scenario, if I put my defense in a bad spot, those guys are some dogs that are going to go out there and fight for me and bail me out oftentimes. And that's been a comfort that Tim Murphy's had all year. Once again, his defense reliable as ever.
Gervasi on first down. It's back to the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard.
Pretty limited inventory of plays to choose from with your heels in the end zone on this Chaminade offense. They're just going to look to get some breathing room. Last thing you want is to ask your punter to try and kick the ball out of the end zone. As a former high school long snapper, I can tell you that's always a scary scenario on special teams.
No, not a lot of real estate. 2nd and 9 from the 5. 3 minutes to play, third quarter. Murphy rolls out, dumps it to Dietrich, who makes the catch, draws contact, and is wrapped up by Naeem Hardy.
Yeah, Chaminade's had some success all day long with that full zone out to the right, get everybody running, and Tim Murphy does a good job of throwing the ball on the run out to that right-hand side. Unfortunately, Dietrich not too far downfield, so still some work to put in here on third down. See those big boys up front for Chaminade. Been having a great day. Declan Miller, Catagio, Knox, all these guys.
Murphy takes the snap, spins it over the middle, pass deflected by Garrison Heslop. And Stepinac's defense rolls a 3 and out.
It's a really nice read by Garrison Heslop, looking at the quarterback's eyes all the way through. And Tim Murphy almost had another costly interception right here, staring down his receiver, Peter Braz, all the way through. And that could have very easily gone for 6. Heslop, as we mentioned, part of a family dynasty. His older brother, Gavin, played at Stony Brook, followed by about 4 years in the NFL, Seahawks, and a few other franchises.
Big punt by Jones, gets past midfield from the end zone and is downed at the 36-yard line.
You know, John, we've all heard that adage, you know, that special teams is 1/3 of the game, but I think we've really seen it play out here for Chaminade today. Huge onside recovery earlier in the game, and right there from Jones, a difficult situation, punting out of your own end zone and able to flip the field for the Flyers.
Yeah, 60-yard punt.
And I know we're playing on Sunday, so he's taking a page out of the book of the rest of those punters playing out every Sunday. Really impressive 60-yard punt.
A good snap by Battaglia as well, shaking off the nerves. Here's Mason Hoover rolling out, has to get rid of it, and then fires over the middle, incomplete, trying to hook up over the cross pattern to Richie DeMarco.
Yeah, Hoover's fortunate that this one doesn't wind up intercepted. I think any coach will tell you the cardinal sin when you're playing quarterback and rolling out is to throw across your body into the middle of the field. Right there, fortunately, drops.
Hoover hands it off to Smith, nowhere to go.
That's Dean Schmidt, once again, the senior linebacker right in the middle, giving Smith no breathing room. Seems like it's been a lot of battles between Schmidt and Smith, challenging the dictatorial skills of our broadcasting crew.
Yeah, and Giancarlo Viscardi in there as well. So it's up 3rd and 11, and some movement up front. But that'll go against Chaminade on the encroachment.
Yeah, it looks like Jemison jumps off right there, and that's a pretty consequential penalty right there, going from that 3rd and 11 to a 3rd and, call it 6 scenario right here.
3rd and 6.
And when the Stepinac offense is really at its best, it's when they're allocating the ball out to the edges to a variety of different guys, whether it's Smith, whether it's Spellman, whether it's DeMarco.
On 3rd and 6, Hoover denied and taken down. It's another sack, Anthony Trapani.
The 5'7" sophomore flies up through the middle right here and gets yet another sack for this Chaminade defense. Gotta love the creative play call, sending him up the A-gap, and he executes to perfection right there to get this Flyer D off the field.
Trapani, someone that was brought up, good with assignments, and it was just a matter of getting him into the flow of the offense. And even though he's undersized, has a high football IQ, And now Sapasaurus to punt it away again. Chaminade on the return as Mike Genovese is downed at the 31-yard line as time expires in the third quarter. We head to the fourth. That Chaminade defense stepping up when called upon. Anthony Trapani with a big takedown. Fourth quarter coming up next on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
This is Solomon Thomas with the New York Jets, and you're watching Varsity Media.
Move with the rhythm. Shake it up, stop when the clock hits 13. Sing 1, 2, 3, 4. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it.
Start of the fourth quarter, Chaminade with the ball at their own 31-yard line. Or check that, 32. After the punt from Stepinac and straight keeper, as that is Tim Murphy firing up ahead.
Yeah, right there, Murphy just going to follow his center, Chris Knox. He's been playing great out of Rockville Center. Just right up that A-gap.
Murphy with the carry.
And it's real tough to stop an offense when they can get 8 yards on first down just by running something simple like that QB run right up the middle.
Pickup of 8, ball spotted at the 40. Murphy with that hard count again. Gerbasi ranging wide. And stopped.
Really nice play right there by number 83, Edward Keeler for Stepinac. Called his name a couple times out here today.
Yeah, that was Keeler and Ethan Morris in on the tackle. And Gerbasi so hard to take down one-on-one, and you're going to need that help.
Absolutely. Yeah, he's a guy who I'd look to dial up his number once again here on 3rd and 2. Big number 5, not an easy guy to stop. See if he can keep this drive going.
3rd down and 3. Murphy to Gerbasi, he's got a first down and gets dragged down past the 45-yard line. As Chaminade continues to move the sticks behind Gerbasi.
Yeah, this is just really nice running. Follows his blockers, cuts it upfield. And this is just tough to stop. Got a whole group of flyers out in front of him. And not too many guys better at reading their blockers than Peter Gerbasi right there. Not too much pep in the step of the Chaminade offense at this point in the game. They're well aware of their 2-touchdown lead and are happy to chew some clock as they march the ball down the field.
106 rushing yards for Gerbasi as Chaminade goes empty. Trips receivers near side, 2 receivers top of the screen. Gerbasi goes in motion. And Murphy keeps it himself and jogs up ahead. And the pickup of 6.
Yeah, once again, nice job by Contagio and Knox. Clearing open some room through the middle of that Stepinac defense. And hey, I don't know if you could drive a Mack truck through that, but at least, you know, a Prius could have made it through that hole. Nice, easy running for Tim Murphy.
What's funny, the size difference. You'll need the Mack truck when Murphy's running, and you could run the Prius with Gerbasi. Those two have been efficient out of the backfield today. 2nd and 4 from the 45. Play action. Dietrich. Oh, and Chaminade makes the catch on the deflection.
What a nice play by
Gino Schiano.
Gino Schiano. This is really nice. A little bit of a misthrown ball right there off the hands of Dietrich, and then Schiano lays out for it. And I don't know if there's any relation to Greg Schiano out in Piscataway with the Rutgers Scarlet Knights, but he might want to take notice of his brethren.
Yeah, good tip drill there. Down player for Stepinac is Elias Murray, and good to see him get up under his own power.
Yeah, Murray's got a thankless job right there on the inside for this Stepinac defense. Taking on a lot of double teams all day long. Call that a classic two-gapper. Main job is to keep bodies off your linebackers, help guys like Andrew Waters fly up and make plays, and 58's been doing a good job out there today.
Well, while we have a quick break, let Blaze Pizza cater your next pizza party, graduation, celebration, or even on-site business meeting. Use the QR code on the screen. It's a whole lot easier with Blaze Pizza. Locations in Queens, Hicksville, Bayshore, and Yukon.
The way I read into that is if you're in the tri-state area, no excuse not to be hitting up Blaze Pizza.
There's a ferry that goes on the other side to Connecticut, right here on the Long Island Sound. Good play action, long ball, far side incomplete. Schiano couldn't haul in that one. It's a lot tougher, I guess, when the ball's not deflected.
Yeah, that was a tight window right there for Tim Murphy. Schiano almost able to reel that one in as he had a step on Garrison Heslop, but unable to reel that one in. Love the play calling, though, here. You know, 1st down and 10. Every opportunity to just get ultra conservative and just run the ball up the middle, trying to bleed out the clock. But Chaminade continues to put the pedal to the metal and get aggressive out here on offense.
Murphy on 2nd down. Flips it on the reverse. Michael Dietrich. Big tackle. Ethan Morris causing disruption and a loss of yards.
You know, Ethan Morris, one of those guys they really count on up in White Plains. And you can see why right here. Michael Dietrich, not an easy guy to bring down in the open field. Pretty dynamic weapon for Chaminade, but right there stands no chance against number 6. Makes a great play. Obvious passing scenario right here. It would appear for Chaminade, 3rd and 16. I'd look for them to dial up a quick screen right here to Peter Gerbasi. Nothing too dangerous, but see if number 5 can make something happen in the open field.
Well, Gerbasi used to block. Good protection. Murphy rolling out, then steps up and just throws it away. With the pressure coming, Anthony Turilli in the backfield with Andrew Waters.
Yeah, I've been calling those names all day long. Really good job in pursuit right there as Turilli's a little bit slow to get up. But surprising call right there. Doesn't burn too much time off the clock as it stops yet again with the incompletion. And Stepinac, though they're down by 2 touchdowns with a little over 7 minutes left, still have some time to make some challenges here at Gold Star Stadium.
And Jones to kick it away to Max Oliveri. And Richie DeMarco battling the sun as well.
Another good punt.
Fantastic punt. Downed at the 1-yard line. Jones is putting on a clinic. 47-yard pin down. And Stepinac takes over.
Yeah, we thought 60 yards out of his own end zone was impressive. Well, hey, he one-ups himself yet again. Jones with a 47-yard punt and couldn't do it any better than this. Just drops it right down at the 1-yard line and going to make life as difficult as possible for Mason Hoover and this Crusaders offense needing to go 99 yards against the Flyers D.
Little Jordan shrug afterwards, too.
Hey.
Got to be the shoes.
Gotta love seeing Chaminade play with a little bit of swagger, right? You know, a program that might have lost its step for the last couple years, but they're well aware that they've firmly planted their flag as the favorite in this AAA division right now in New York.
Osborne can't get out of the end zone. Still trying to get out of it. It's a safety.
ultimately brought down by Danny Landrum at the end of that play. If you'll notice early on, number 22 Landrum is signaling safety. Then Osborne breaks the tackle, and he has to get his hands dirty. But really nice job here. First one in there is going to be Giancarlo Viscardi. And then a whole host of Flyers ultimately brought down by Landrum. And really takes whatever air was left in the Stepinac balloon out here in Mineola today.
I know the coaches will always dissect on Monday the game film, but from a defense and special teams unit, those coaches have to be grinning ear to ear.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I mean, hey, as we've kind of mentioned throughout the course of this game, special teams is just such a huge factor, especially the way that Chaminade likes to play football. And, the kicking game has really just been a game changer all day. Led to, a touchdown earlier in that first half coming off the onside recovery, and then directly to 2 points right there because of the great punt. So, couldn't ask for anything more out of that unit, delivering, 9 points on the afternoon.
Well, the schedule gets a little tougher for Chaminade. No easy games in the AAA, and after today, they take on Kellenberg next week, and then Cardinal Hayes, Iona Prep, and Xavier to round out the schedule. Perhaps a finals preview against either Hayes or Iona Prep.
Yeah, I don't want to speak too soon, but I feel like that game on 10/20 live here at Gold Star Stadium on the Varsity Media Sports Network against Cardinal Hayes is going to be the regular season game of the year in New York State, taking on the reigning state champions, Richie Beelan, coached by C.J. O'Neill and that great squad up there at Grand Concourse. Going to be a tough challenge for Chaminade, but thus far this year, they've really taken every hit in stride and kept moving forward. Really, really impressive unit so far, and excited to see what they can put together down the stretch.
Yeah, Chaminade, if the score holds, would be 5-1, and the standings coming into this week after every team playing either Friday night or last night. Iona Prep with a big victory over St. Anthony's. Fordham Prep knocks off SJB. Farrell over St. Peter's. Hayes beating Kellenberg. So Chaminade would be 5-1, 3-0, just ahead of Cardinal Hayes. Remember, Chaminade had that Week 0 victory against St. Anthony's. And, yeah, listen, you're fighting for home field throughout the playoffs.
No doubt. No, that's so important. Gold Star Stadium can deliver a good home field advantage when you get these Flyer faithful bought in, so they want to guarantee that, and not going to be an easy path for them. Really got to buckle down against the likes of a Richie Beelan or an Iona Prep that can really all stress you on the defensive side of the ball.
Sapasaurus, and the fair catch on the near side by Peter Chenowitz. So we saw what Chaminade's schedule was. Here's Stepinac's schedule remaining, and at least they get some home games over the next 3 weeks, battling between home and the road. St. Peter's, Farrell, and then Cardinal Hayes, and then it gets more Catholic. More Catholic traditionally good at the AA1 level. They've been in the final every year, looking to make the next step this year, but never easy in the Catholic League.
Yeah, a lot of tough matchups right there. And, you're grateful that you got Farrell and Hayes coming to you up in White Plains, but going on the road at Staten Island against Moore Catholic to finish the season, another big challenge. And it's just kind of the nature of playing ball in the AAA division in the New York State Catholic High School Football League. No week off, got to bring your best every single week, and hopefully they can get on the win column sooner rather than later.
Chaminade starts at the 45-yard line. Chenowitz goes in motion, and the handoff to Peter Gerbasi. See a heavy dosage of running for Chaminade, I'd assume, up 2 scores, and under 7 minutes to play in the fourth.
Yeah, this team really is built for these milk the clock, 4-minute drill, we call them, type scenarios where you're just looking to get into a quick little huddle, use as much of that play clock as possible. And you see Coach O'Donnell use the first timeout for Stepinac this second half.
Stepinac takes a timeout, and of course these teams with a lot of talent over the last couple of years and looking to play at the next level, and some alums already playing at the next level for Stepinac, and I know one guy that stands out to you, Sam Madu.
Sam Madu, absolute stud of an athlete. He's already getting some reps starting on kickoff for Minnesota, who just knocked off USC last night, but can't forget big Johnny Cornelius, starting right tackle at Oregon. Former Harlem Jet. He's projected to be a first or second round draft pick next year. Reigning first team All-American. And as Oregon enters the top 3 of the AP rankings right now, look for him to be moving people for Dylan Gabriel and company, but just kind of speaks to the level of production, the level of development that they have up in White Plains, the fact that they can send so many guys to play at the very highest level.
How about Vandy knocking off Alabama yesterday?
Love to see it. Shout out to my boy Jimmy Thompson, the star coach at Vanderbilt.
Harvard of the South, as Gerbasi goes up the middle and picks up 3 yards. Vanderbilt improving to 1-45 all time against number 1 ranked opponents. Back-to-back timeouts for Stepinac. So we saw Stepinac at the next level. Let's see the Chaminade Flyers at the next level. And, of course, some players really stepping up. Now, I know that USC and Stony Brook stick out, but how about Anthony D'Agostino, what he's been able to do, former Flyers captain, All-Liberty first team last year at RPI, and then Aiden Capolino as well. And listen, everybody wants to go to the Power 5 schools, but it's all about the right fit, and Capolino and D'Agostino really fit that bill.
Yeah, impressive across the board. I'm looking at University of Chicago as a former economics major. To me, that's like Harvard or even better. So Capolino, really impressive. D'Agostino thriving up at RPI, great engineering school, and then spread across Division I. You see USC, Donovan Wood, Pecorella at Stony Brook, and McCormick at LIU. But just speaks to the level of development that you have historically. Should only get better as we enter the Tom Claro era.
Yeah, Liam McCormick with 20 tackles through 5 games for the LIU Sharks. Still looking for their first victory of the season. Third down and 9. Murphy doesn't see the pass coming and then just gets brought down. Anthony Torelli, the linebacker, with the tackle, and Stepinac has burned its final timeout.
Doesn't show up right here, but I want to give a quick shout out to number 37, Derek Watson, coming off the edge. He's going to blow up Catagio, who's just trying to kick out, and basically he sets the edge right there, forces everything inside, and makes life easy for number 25, Torelli, to come up and make that hit.
How about Stepinac defensively making the stops when needed the most? Still trailing by 16, but you know, Rome wasn't built in a day. First step completed for Stepinac.
Yeah, important to know, this Stepinac D has been perfect in the second half, had a really big interception, so they've given their offense ample opportunities. Obviously, they've been put in a couple of tough spots here down the stretch, but really impressed with the fortitude of the Stepinac D to continue to persevere.
Yeah, and there's a lot to build on for Stepinac, too. I know that the record hasn't been exactly what they wanted, but they got some big runs against a good defense. The offense was clicking at times, and perhaps some building blocks for Stepinac.
No doubt. Got to love the way that Hoover was able to connect with his receivers down the stretch in that first half. Things haven't gone the way that you wanted out here in the third and fourth quarters, but definitely a lot to build on as you make that trip back up to White Plains.
Jones just gets it away on the 25-yard punt.
First and 10.
And I don't want to call them dead to rights just yet. It's still a 2-score game with Stepinac down 16. So let's see with 6 minutes if they can get something going quick and maybe bring this one into 1 score going down the stretch.
Well, they're going to need to do so, especially with the slew of options that they have, with either it being Garrison Heslop taking direct snaps with Zaire Spellman, or they go the traditional route with Mason Hoover. Hoover not out on the field. It's Garrison Heslop.
This is an interesting move for me. Heslop probably better with his feet, not quite as capable with his arm as Hoover is, but opting for a little bit more of that dynamism on the ground.
And Heslop stood up.
Really nice play. Looked like that was number
Tom Jemison that came in.
Yep. We've been calling Tom Jemison's name all day long. Had several big plays out here. And it's just a really nice job on the bull rush. Getting in there. And nothing you can do right there if you're Garrison Heslop.
Heslop steps up, rifles over the middle. He's got Oliveri at midfield. On the 23-yard catch for Max Oliveri, that'll move him into Chaminade territory.
Oliveri's had some big plays out here today, and yet another one right here over the middle. Knows how to get open, sees his quarterback, and gets things going in the right direction here.
Harrison moving quickly, and Heslop connects with a man. That was Richie DeMarco. makes the sliding catch. So huge sense of urgency for Stepinac.
And if you remember, at the end of that end of that first half, Chaminade had a real tough time against this kind of fast-paced tone from Stepinac.
2nd and 3 over the middle. Oliveri can't haul it in. Stops the clock with 4:52. Sets up 3rd and 3. Definitely 4-down territory for Stepinac. You know, Pat, something about the 2-minute warning, maybe it's adrenaline or just the quick hitters, but you start to see quarterbacks gain a rhythm, and that's what Heslop was doing on the last couple of passes.
I think
hard count?
Hard count right there, so Chaminade's going to give him a free pass and a new set of downs. But, you know, John, you're absolutely correct. Within a hurry-up offense, quarterbacks tend to stop thinking so much. They just react, and a lot of times that's when a good player is going to be at his absolute best. You're seeing it right here from Garrison Heslop. Also, got to notice that Chaminade just doesn't feel nearly as comfortable covering against 4 wide receivers.
Gets out of it and then spins it over to his receiver, and Jordan Eaton. 8-yard pickup for number 8, Eaton.
And we can hear the Stepinac faithful right near us to our right. They're getting into this, loving what they're seeing, and saying, don't count us out just yet, as the playmaking skills of Garrison Heslop continue to be showcased out here.
.420 and rolling. Smith goes in motion. Heslop airs it out to the end zone. 1v1, incomplete. Good coverage down the field as Benjamin Beckiers breaks it up.
Yeah, the junior cornerback from Massapequa does a great job one-on-one out on the edge against Richie DeMarco. Looks back towards the ball, which is always key when you're in one of those 50-50 type scenarios, trying to avoid the PI. But nonetheless, scary scenario if you're a Chaminade fan watching these Crusaders gain some momentum down the stretch.
Airing it out to the end zone, incomplete. Tried to connect with Max Oliveri, and that'll set up 4th and 3.
Definitely 4-down territory right here. If I'm dialing up plays for Stepinac, I'm calling a pass, but I'm telling number 9, Garrison Heslop, do whatever it takes to get this 3 yards. I'd love to see him roll out, keep things moving.
Heslop trying the hard count once again. No timeouts for Stepinac, 4:08 to go, and they're down 2 scores. Smith moves behind Heslop. Need 3 yards to move the sticks. Fake the play action, they've got Oliveri. Oliveri burrowing forward and down at the 16-yard line. 11-yard pickup for the Crusaders, who are starting to roll.
1st and 10.
Yeah, Oliveri's wide open right here. Chaminade sold out on the blitz to try and get in Heslop's phase, but number 9, unfazed by that, dials up.
Heslop up, first down. Trying to get out of the pocket. Heslop still on his feet, rifles it, tight window. Oliveri made the catch, but was forced out of bounds.
Oliveri's not happy right there. He thought he was able to get that toe tap in.
Let's take another look, Pat. There is no official replay, so whatever we have, even if he does make the catch in bounds, it'd have to be overturned.
And from my eye, looks like he might have been just out of bounds. Good call from our officiating crew.
Second down and 10. Heslop, quick hitter, near side. And it's Richie DeMarco to the end zone, touchdown. Stepinac's not done yet as DeMarco gets on the board.
DeMarco's 2nd touchdown of the day right here. Just a little quick hitting screen concept, follows his blockers on the inside. Great block by number 67, Jerron Byam, out in open space, the tackle. And don't look now, but Stepinac is a 2-point conversion away from a 1-score ball game with 3:34 left at Gold Star Stadium.
Yeah, and already 1 for 1 and 2-point conversions today, as it was Heslop with Zaire Spellman. Heslop over the middle. He's got Oliveri. And the 2-point conversion is good. And that makes it an 8-point game.
What a drive right there by the senior Max Oliveri. Time and time again, they dialed his number, and time again, he delivers. None bigger than that last catch right there to bring him within 8. And don't look now, but Chaminade all of a sudden has their back up against it, needing to put together a couple first downs to close this one out here against a really gritty, persevering Stepinac Crusader team.
Garrison Heslop, 8 completions on that drive to get into the end zone. And now it's up to the defense, and Stepinac with no timeouts left. Let's just keep an eye on, for those of you watching at home with the scoreboard, no timeouts left for Stepinac, and potential onside kick here, Pat?
Yeah, I think definitely got to look to cover the onside kick and send your hands team out there if you're Chaminade. But if I'm Coach O'Donnell, I'm kicking this one deep, and I'm asking my defense to get a big stop right here.
In a season where so much has gone wrong for Stepinac, they've been putting in the work week in and week out. And a chance to knock off the first place Chaminade Flyers on the road.
I mean, hey, this is their first game within 3 touchdowns. It's a kind of new territory for this team right here. Keeping it close. And really impressed by their ability to dig deep.
Sapasaris setting up for the onside kick.
Looks like they do have the hands team out there for Chaminade, as expected.
Short kick, Spellman's there, makes it, but did he get it past the 10 yards? That's what we're going to have to see. Stepinac is celebrating.
Looks like to my naked eye that he caught it about 9.5 yards, just short right here. It's going to have to get to the 50, and yeah, right before it gets there. This is a tough call either way, kind of a bang-bang type play. But I think in this situation, number 1, Spellman gets there just a hair too early.
And it's Chaminade ball. Ron Winchester initially signaled for Stepinac, and then when he heard the Stepinac crowd cheering, he then switched sides and gave it over to Chaminade.
Wow, that's a little too close for comfort if you're a Flyer fan, but nonetheless, you're going to get the ball right here at the 50-yard line with an opportunity to ice this game.
1st and 10, Chaminade.
Peter Gerbasy's been Mr. Reliable out of the backfield. The Stepinac's defense have one more stop in them. First and 10 from midfield. The give to Gerbasi. Forward progress might give him a yard.
Nice tackle by Derek Watson right there. Junior flying up, making the hit. And I think everybody in the world is expecting a couple more runs from Chaminade. We'll see how aggressive they want to get right here. Because while you want to bleed that clock, you also don't have enough time to nurture the ball and not punt it back without getting another set of downs.
Under 3 minutes to play in regulation. Michael Dietrich goes in motion. Murphy, straight keeper. Plowing ahead, and a positive gain for Murphy, shortening the field. And a 5-yard run.
It's a really big run right there, running behind John Durnan. A couple of those big boys up front.
3rd and 4.
And all of a sudden, 3rd and 4, very manageable right here, right where you want to be. on offense for Chaminade.
Once again, for those of you watching at home, Stepinac has no timeouts, so ignore that on the scoreboard. First down could be all she wrote if Chaminade can get it here. 3rd and a long 4. Man in motion is Peter Braz. Murphy up the gut once again. And he's going to be short of the first down marker by a yard. And decision time for Tom Claro. He can wind the clock all the way down to about 1:10.
I think with the way that Jones has been punting the ball all day, you got to take the opportunity to pin Stepinac deep and make them go the full length of the field in a really short time. No timeouts against your defense who's played well all day. But nonetheless, a scary situation. Big decision for Tom Claro.
You saw Tom Claro speaking to Jamie Herbert, the line judge, and saying that he's going to call a timeout, so just calling it at a certain time. And that stops the clock with 1:01 to go in the 4th. And let's keep it here, Pat. Decision time for Chaminade. You're right. You do want to pin it deep. But for Stepinac, regardless, what do you want to see if they go? Let's say that Chaminade is going for it defensively. What do you want to see out of them?
I mean, defensively, you got to sell out if they do decide to go for it right here. Basically, load up that box with 8-9 men and see if they can beat you, in kind of a little grudge match right there. But that's not what I would expect. I'd expect Chaminade to kick it deep, and really just comes down to, can Garrison Heslop dial up a little bit more magic, go 90-plus yards with less than 60 seconds left on the clock at that point in order to bring this team back.
Okay, so if Chaminade is booting it away, if you're Stepinac, you're hoping they get it in the end zone, or are you trying to return it?
I think in this scenario, you want to fair catch the ball, because if you allow that ball to drop and roll and perhaps settle for a period of 5 or 6 seconds, those are really, really valuable seconds at this junction in the game. Got to catch it.
Well, Chaminade's going to go for it. 4th and a long 1 with 1:01 to go in regulation.
You see that box is loaded up right there for Stepinac.
Murphy up the middle. He's got a first down, and Chaminade's going to hold on.
Really impressed with Coach Tom Claro, and I guess that kind of signals the change that you've had in demeanor amongst this program. He believes in these guys. He knows those guys up front will get it when they need it most, and right here behind big Lucas Cottagio and his senior quarterback Tim Murphy, no bigger moment in the game. They're able to put this one on ice.
The Chaminade team that hasn't won 5 games since 2022 when they lost to St. Anthony's in the semifinals. Remember, they won the AA championship in 2021. When they hired Tom Claro, they're trying to get back to those glory days. And in first place at the end of week 6 with a 30-22 victory over Stepinac. The vibes are high for the Flyers.
The vibes have never been higher. These guys are having a blast out there, firmly in first place, firmly in control of this Catholic High School Football League AAA division, and they've got all the momentum they'll need heading into a tough stretch the next few weeks.
So Chaminade improves to 5-1, and Stepinac falls to 0-6. We'll step aside and we'll have the Blaze Pizza postgame show when we come back on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
At St. Francis Heart Center, we're not just regional heart experts. We share our greater success with the world. We don't just pioneer technology. We do it more than anywhere on Greater Long Island. And we don't just win awards. We deliver greater outcomes for people like you. As New York's only specialty designated cardiac center, we're not satisfied with just being good. This is Long Island. This is St. Francis Heart Center. and greater lives here.
Hey parents, Varsity Media is now offering ISO video of just your athlete. Why settle for the wide angle that shows every player on the field? With our ISO video, your athlete is front and center the entire game. This footage will help in creating highlight videos for college coaches to better pinpoint your athlete's play on the field. Watching our video will help your athlete improve progressively throughout the season and may lead to a college scholarship. Varsity Media is now booking ISO videos for the fall, but spots are limited. Contact us today for football, soccer, field hockey, and volleyball by calling 516-403-2050 or emailing ben@varsitymedia.net.
High school sports fans, Varsity Media is the exclusive live stream partner of Nassau County Championships. To live stream fall, winter, and spring championship events, head to varsitymediapass.com to order. Now accessible on smart TVs. Varsity Media is your home for the Nassau County Championships.
Back here at Chaminade, it is the Blaze Pizza Fast Fired post-game show. Chaminade wins again. They stay in first place. I'm joined by our player of the game, Peter Trevesi, who is pretty fired up as well. Peter, offensively, it seemed like you guys were pretty inspired early on. What can you say about the offensive play today?
I mean, everyone did their jobs. Line was pushing, receivers catching balls. Murph did a great job wherever he is. Everyone just did great. We did our jobs, and it happened.
I'll ask about the offense again in a second, but I'm curious defensively. Stepinac is making the comeback, but you guys once again defensively step up when you need it the most. What's been the change this year defensively to allow you guys to have success?
I think it's just the mentality. I mean, those boys, they're ready to kill. Big Lou making big plays on the line back there for the safety. I mean, they're just having a great year. So.
And it seemed like offensively, obviously you get the lion's share, but now Tim is getting in sync. What does this say about the rest of the league? What does Chaminade have to say to the rest of the league with this type of performance?
Yeah, just watch out. I mean, we're coming.
Well, they'll be watching out because they're in first place. It's also the Blaze Pizza post-game show, so they get free pizza around Hicksville, Bayshore, as well as Fresh Meadows. And so Chaminade, a pretty happy team as well. So that'll wrap it up here from Gold Star Stadium as Chaminade wins it this one over Stepinac.